Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. City. Start Awakening Time and Space Dual Spirits. Chapter 81. Wang Quan did not reply. Li Qingdi has been around for 1,000 years. If he really didn't die, then he should not be weaker than the three pillars, and maybe even stronger. But if he didn't die, why didn't he show up? This made him a little suspicious. Moreover, the situation of the human race 1,000 years ago was not the same as it is now. It is unknown whether Li Qingdi was planning something in his heart. The three pillars of this matter should have also been noticed. Wang Quan said, but if we have the opportunity, we can also investigate. The other side. Lu Shaner and Yifeng left the barracks side by side. Fifth junior brother, are you really all right? Lu Shaner's eyes are very good looking, and she smiles like a boat. The high ponytail swayed left and right with her walking movements, capable and refreshing. Yifeng jokingly asked, would you like to check it out for you? Lu Shaner stared at Yifeng for a long time and suddenly said, all right. Yifeng was stunned for a while, is this all right? At this time, Yifeng suddenly regretted that he had no more injuries. Cough, I'm really fine. Yifeng said. Lu Shaner rolled her eyes at Yifeng. Bullshit, if you have something to do, the teacher has already gone wild. Immediately, he said again, fifth junior brother, should you be able to participate in this year's Buddha battlefield? Yifeng nodded. Yes, I'm definitely going. That's great, the third child and I are going. Lu Shaner said, it just so happens that I'm fine during this time. If you don't understand, you can come to me at any time. Yifeng nodded, these senior sisters are quite nice. Second senior sister, what are you looking for from me? Look at your familiar face, can't you? Lu Shaner glared at Yifeng. I'm usually in Blood Town City, and I rarely go back except to submit tasks, so I don't have a good chat when I see each other. Then what is your mission? Yifeng asked curiously. Cough cough secret. Lu Shaner didn't disclose it and said, with your talent and the killing of the Eclipse Dragon Python this time, you will definitely be targeted in the Buddha battlefield. We recently had a character who was out hunting, do you want to go with us? Hunting. Yifeng probably understood what he meant, and was overjoyed. Are you plundering resources? Lu Shaner said. Yes, we often cooperate with the people of Divine Prison, and most of the soul crystals of the human race come from this way. Yifeng asked. When, about how many days? 5 days later. Lu Shaner said. As for how many days it will last, it's hard to say, this time we should go to the border of Zhengwu Dynasty. Quote. Yifeng's strength had just broken through by a large margin, and he was just about to go back to improve his martial soul fit. When the fit is up, it would be perfect if he could plunder a wave of soul crystals and then improve his strength. Since the strength has been upgraded to gold, the system has greatly improved the probability of rare rewards and god-level rewards. Yifeng estimates that he should be able to easily obtain the Holy Spirit Stone now. In this way, a few spirit rings can hit 100,000 years as soon as possible. At the same time, the 100 Burials Forest. The main battlefield of the human race seemed quite quiet at the moment. Due to the long-term war, the land of the 100 Burial Forest is dark red. Many of the surrounding trees have become soul beasts. The plants in the 100 Burials Forest are densely connected to form an endless dome. Lights flickered above the dome. Immediately, Dharma Venerable walked out of the void. The Dharma Venerable with white hair, white beard and white robe looked ahead. The next moment, a terrifying breath came from the junction of heaven and earth far away. A golden phantom soared into the sky. Immediately, it turned into a pair of eyes that covered most of the world. Father, what are you doing here? The voice was thick and majestic, even though it was far away, it seemed to ring in his ears. Fa Zun said quietly. Don't be nervous, Junwu, I didn't come to kill you. Oh, I forgive you that you don't have the guts. Junwu Beast Emperor chuckled lightly. The two stopped talking. As a super powerhouse, the arrival of Dharma Venerable made Junwu Beast Emperor vigilant for a while. So I didn't leave right now. A pair of golden eyes wandered, not knowing what he was thinking. Dharma Venerable didn't take care of Junwu Beast Emperor, but landed lightly in the intertwined woods. He looked around, as if looking for something. After a while, Dharma Venerable's figure gradually dimmed. But it didn't completely disappear. Father, what are you looking for? Junwu Beast Emperor asked. Look for a pot. Fa Zun didn't look up. Pot. Junwu Beast Emperor was a little puzzled. Venerable Dharma smiled and said, how can I cook you without a pot? Humph. Junwu Beast Emperor looked cold, and immediately glanced at Shui Zhencheng. After a while, your human race will be completely finished. It's too early to say. While speaking, Dharma Venerable took out a palm-sized disc from his sleeve. Seeing the Junwu Beast Emperor annotating himself, Dharma Venerable swept away a trace of the Junwu Beast Emperor's spiritual thoughts with a wave of his hand. This activates the disc. Om. A bright streamer shrouded the entire 100 burial forest. The next moment, some subtle changes came into view. Dharma Venerable looked at it for a moment, his expression slightly solemn. Looks like you've left here. Thinking of this, Dharma Venerable retracted the disc, then took a step forward and disappeared. But then, a tyrannical resistance came. Dharma Venerable was isolated by that power and appeared again. Dharma Venerable frowned, and after trying it again, he felt that things were a little different. It seems, our guess was wrong. The Dharma Venerable looked at the dome that covered the sky and the sun, and showed a faint smile on the corner of his mouth. After speaking, Dharma Venerable suddenly disappeared. In Lu Shaner's room, second senior sister, did you draw the map of the Junwu dynasty yourself? Yi Feng asked when he saw the scribbled drawings hanging on the wall. Lu Shaner nodded. Not exactly, the Legion gave a sketch, and the specific details were drawn after the major towns would lead their teams to explore. Yi Feng looked at it carefully. The Junwu dynasty was in the depths of the Shira realm, nearly 100,000 kilometers away from the City of Heroes. The map of the size of the Junwu dynasty did not show it. By the way, senior sister, where is the battlefield of the Buddha? Yi Feng looked at the map and asked. On the border of Junwu dynasty, Buddha town. Lu Shaneriu pointed to a certain place and said, this place can be regarded as a small town jointly governed by humans and spirit beasts. We're going to pass there in a few days. Speaking of which, Lu Shaner told the history of Buddha town. Since Yi Feng was going to participate in the Battle of the Buddha, the more he knew, the better. Yi Feng listened with relish. These things are not available online. Only the old guns in the Shira world know about it. Half an hour later, Lu Shaner said with a dry mouth, that's basically it. Sister, you've worked hard. Yi Feng thanked. This second senior sister is enthusiastic enough, he just started talking about B by himself for half an hour. Lu Shaner suddenly asked after drinking half a glass of water, by the way, fifth junior brother, where are you from? Yi Feng was stunned for a while. This is not going to talk anymore and start embarrassing chat. Senior sister, I am from Dijing. Yi Feng spread his hands and said, you ask this question too well. Lu Shaner glanced at Yi Feng, really? Yi Feng has a black line. It's not true, can it be fake? After a while, Yi Feng suddenly asked, what do you want to say, senior sister? Nothing. Lu Shaner stretched, and the S-curve was immediately visible. Don't say it, I went to take a bath, I'm exhausted. Cough, senior sister, I have this map. Yi Feng took off the map. Lu Shaner started to take off her armor as she spoke. Her long and slender legs were unobstructed. Don't forget to look for 30 me in Bloodtown in 5 days. Okay. After returning to Tejing University with Wang Quan, Yi Feng immediately locked himself in the Hall of Soul Origin. Originally, 55% of the martial spirit fit was the limit, but after the strength was upgraded to 6 gold stars, the martial spirit fit increased to 62%. According to Wang Quan, the fit requirement of the Golden Great Perfection is 70%. The further back you go, the smaller the percentage that your martial soul fit can be improved. And this 7% fit Yi Feng estimates that it may take several days. However, just when Yi Feng was about to retreat, Luo Hao called. What? Yi Feng said angrily. Luo Hao's expression froze on the other end of the phone. President Yi, there is a fund that needs your approval recently. Ask Senior Gong Qingyu about internal affairs, and discuss external affairs with yourselves. Yi Feng said, and you have other things to tell me, hurry up, don't hesitate. Yi Feng knew that Luo Hao was definitely not just for the sake of money. Luo Hao smiled. The president is the president. I believe that with your leadership, our student union. Yi Feng interrupted unceremoniously. Cough, President, I want to invite you to Luo's house. Go to your home. Yi Feng was stunned. What's wrong? Cough, it's nothing, it's just that my father wants to invite you to sit down. Luo Hao bit his head and said. This is the task that his father gave him. I hope Luo Hao can make a good relationship with Yi Feng and pave the way for the Luo family. The Luo family is not a small family, but has a lot of industries. Among them, the most famous and largest is the various martial arts halls. Luo's martial arts hall is very large and has branches in many places. Some metropolises who did not go to university for various reasons went to the martial arts hall. There are also some college students who choose to go to the martial arts hall after graduation. And Luo Hao's father, Luo Tishan, is also a great master and a strong man, both in terms of fame and status. Yi Feng knew what the Luo family was thinking and said, "Thank you for your father's kindness for me, but I really don't have time recently. If you don't go, I'll be beaten to death by my dad." Luo Hao looked very aggrieved. Yi Feng frowned slightly. Luo Hao, Xiao Dao kidnapped me, you can use it on others, but it's useless on me. He just hung up the phone. Luo Hao wanted to cry without tears. It's fine if it's someone else, either to give benefits, or to rely on family power to always win one or two. But Yi Feng can't. In terms of background, apart from the descendants of the three pillars, I am afraid that no one can match Yi Feng, right? What should I do? I will be beaten to death by my father. Luo Hao turned around in a hurry. After thinking about it, he still called Luo Tishan back. Dad, Yi Feng, he has a mission and can't come. Luo Hao told a white lie. A mission always ends, right? Luo Tishan said lightly. Or you want to give some benefits, I remember he seemed to like soul crystals in the special training camp. Yes, I will try again. Luo Hao said helplessly. By the way, how much do you give? Give it until he wants to come. After hanging up the phone, Luo Tishan looked at the man in black opposite. The man wearing a mask could not see his face clearly, but his eyes were light blue. Master Luo did a good job. The man said in a playful tone. As long as Yi Feng is brought here, your family will be safe and sound. Luo Tishan glanced at the man with some fear. He didn't know who the other party was, but he could guess that this person must be from the Myriad Beast sect. Only the 10,000 Beasts religion would target Yi Feng so deliberately. As a spirit master in the early stage of the Great Master, Luo Tishan also detested the 10,000 Beast religion. His eldest son, Luo Peng, died in the assassination of the 10,000 Beast cult 2 years ago. Luo Peng's talent is stronger than that of Luo Hao. If he hadn't died, he would have reached the golden consummation by now. 0. Over the years, the Myriad Beast sect either assassinated or coerced Li to kill many human geniuses. Luo Tishan had also secretly got rid of many people from the Myriad Beast religion, but he did not expect that he would become the target of coercion today. I hope you do what you say. Luo Tishan said solemnly. Otherwise, I have a way to defeat your conspiracy. The blue-eyed man gave a strange laugh. That's natural, I'm naturally afraid of your master Luo's strength. Don't worry, as long as Yi Feng is here, we will do the rest. And your Luo family is also innocent. Saying that, the blue-eyed man got up. Luo Tishan's pupils suddenly shrank, because he found that this person has no shadow. After the green-eyed man left, Luo Tishan found that his back was wet. He couldn't see through this person's strength, but it made Luo Tishan feel like he was sitting on pins and needles. Yi Feng, don't blame me. Luo Tishan stared out the window in a daze. Inside Taikyo University, Luo Hao thought about calling Yi Feng again and again. Yi Feng said lazily, Luo Hao, are you itchy? Luo Hao's body trembled and hurriedly smiled. Yi Feng, I have a small gift here, ahem, as long as you are willing to show your face. I reward your sister. Go away. Yi Feng laughed angrily. Luo Hao, is it because I can't speak well, or do you want to be beaten? Yi Feng, 5,000 low-grade soul crystals. Luo Hao said quickly. What do you think? Yi Feng was stunned. Is there something wrong with this Luo family? 1.15000 low-grade soul crystals or 5 million. Even though the Luo family has a great career, 5 million is not a small amount. Just to treat me to a meal. Buffett isn't that expensive, is he? But Yi Feng didn't waste time with this experience. Don't go. 20,000. Luo Hao gritted his teeth and reported a number that he felt he would definitely be beaten. Yi Feng, save face, otherwise I won't be able to deal with my dad's side. Yi Feng didn't speak. Sometimes time can be wasted. After a while, cough, how about 7 o'clock tomorrow night? I'll send you my address. Okay, Yi Feng said. After hanging up, Yi Feng called Wang Quan immediately. It was a bit odd, and he had to ask before considering whether to go or not. On the other end of the phone, Wang Quan smiled after hearing Yi Feng's words. It is impossible to say that there is no weirdness. Teacher, could this Luo family be a member of the Myriad Beast cult? Yi Feng asked. The Myriad Beast sect assassinated himself one after another, and it would be impossible to say that he gave up. Although the rudder of the imperial capital has been pulled out, the Myriad Beast religion has a very deep background, and those Dharma protectors are still hidden in the dark. Luo Tishan is still very loyal to the human race, maybe it's all in disguise. Wang Quan pondered, but it doesn't rule out that he was coerced and lured. Then, why don't you secretly protect me, teacher? Yi Feng smiled. It's good to take it, and it can kill people, why not do it? Wang Quan smiled and said, aren't you afraid of accidents? Hehe, if even the teacher can't protect me, it means that there are only 3 pillars that can threaten me. Yi Feng said, since this is the case, he is dead anyway. Wang Quan's expression changed. Be careful what you say. Although I know that the 3 pillars will not care, but what if? Okay, you can go to your appointment as normal tomorrow, I will watch it secretly. Ever since Luo Hao invited Yi Feng, he knew something was wrong. After all, he had no relationship with the Luo family, unlike the Ji family who saved GTN. In addition, Luo Hao gave too many benefits. After putting this matter aside, Yi Feng immediately began to practice the soul-controlling secret technique. Time flies by. The evening of the second day. When Yi Feng left the Soul Origin Hall, he immediately saw Luo Hao, who had been waiting for a long time. President. Luo Hao stepped forward and smiled. Yi Feng took a deep look at Luo Hao. It is very likely that Luo Tishan didn't tell Luo Hao about this. Otherwise, the character of this guy would have been revealed for the first time. Let's go. Yi Feng probed. Do you know why your father is so persistent in inviting me? Cough cough, should I want to get to know you? Luo Hao seemed to have thought of something, and quickly took out a light blue card. President, this is the gold card of Soul Energy Bank, which contains 20,000 low-grade soul crystals. Luo Hao said flatteringly. Hehe, you can find me if you don't have enough flowers. Soul Energy Bank is jointly established by 3 pillars. So there is no credibility to say. Master Luo. After exiting the school gate, a black extended sedan came into view. President, please, Luo Hao said. You are welcome. The car drove fast and arrived at Luo's house an hour later. The Luo family is a manor with 3 entrances and 3 exits. Different from the Wu family and the Gong family, the Luo family is a real soul master family, and all they do is fighting. Therefore, the servants of the Luo family are all soul masters. Hello, Mr. Luo, and Mr. Yi. Under the leadership of Luo Hao, Yi Feng came to the living room of the manor. The servants greeted him along the way, and the clan cast curious and envious glances. These people have only heard of Yi Feng, but they have never met him. Some girls from the Luo family even had admiration in their eyes. In today's human race, no one can compare to Yi Feng in terms of talent and fame. Such a person is naturally the male god in the hearts of countless girls. Ha ha ha, hero boy, well-deserved reputation. As soon as he arrived at the meeting room, Luo Tishan's hearty laughter came immediately. At the same time, the moment Yi Feng stepped into the living room, a gloomy breath swept over. Immediately, a black figure appeared in the corner of the ceiling, staring at Yi Feng without squinting. What about a genius? It's still too immature. The blue-eyed man looked slightly disdainful. He thought that Yi Feng would definitely not come, so he did nothing to coerce Luo Tishan. Yi Feng has never left Taikyo University recently. Even if he left, he was accompanied by a superpower like Wang Quan. Don't mention him. Even if the black and white sect master comes in person, he is not an opponent of royal power. After thinking about it, Qingtong decided to start with the people around her. And there are too few people around Yi Feng who can use it. Either the status is not enough and the family background is average. Or it is the three big families like Zhang Duoer and the others, to lure them unless Qingtong doesn't want to live anymore. So I found Luo Tishan. Qingtong did not rush to act. He quietly watched the two chatting from the corner of the ceiling like a ghost. Luo Tishan was very absent-minded. While feeling guilty and unbearable, he also worried about the comfort of his parents. After chatting for half an hour, dinner officially started. Well, it should be fine. Bronze observed for half an hour, and did not sense any energy fluctuations from Yifeng, and was relieved. Brother Yifeng. At the dining table, Luo Tishan looked at Yifeng and hesitated. He suddenly felt that what he did was extremely wrong. His own son was assassinated by the 10,000 Beast religion, why did he make himself a minion of the 10,000 Beast religion? But when he thought of his parents being imprisoned in an unknown place, Luo Tishan forced himself not to think about these things. Call out. Just as Yifeng picked up the wine glass, a black shadow fell from the sky. The shadow was extremely fast, and it approached Yifeng as soon as it was released. But just when Qingtong thought she wanted the hand, bang, his neck was suddenly grabbed from behind. Who was I at that time? It turned out to be Qingtong Dharma Protector. Wang Quan looked at Qingtong with a smile. Under the power of kingship, Qingtong could no longer maintain a shadowy state, and instead showed an expression of extreme pain. Dare to go and try, Wang Quan said. Below Luo Tishan, his face paled and he slumped to the ground in horror. He didn't expect Wang Quan to follow him. Why? It's just a meal with my Luo family. Could it be that your royal power is really staring at you 24 hours a day? At this moment, Luo Tishan's face was ashes. What happened to Dad? Luo Hao looked at Wang Quan and the two who suddenly appeared on the roof with a confused expression. Immediately, he seemed to think of something with a dark face. Dad, you are using me. Because of the excitement, Luo 300 Hao's voice became a little sharper. Luo Tishan spread out on the chair, only feeling that he was stupid and pitiful. If Yifeng hadn't been assassinated, it wouldn't matter, it's been several times in a row, could Yifeng not notice? Even if Yifeng didn't take precautions, Wang Quan would not let it go. It's over, it's too late. Luo Tishan's heart was full of remorse, but he knew it was useless. The Luo family is over. Wang Quan, you, don't be too proud. Qingtong was pinched by Wang Quan's neck, struggling to breathe, and her face flushed. As the guardian of the 10,000 beasts, Qingtong's strength is very strong, reaching 3 stars of the Grand Master. But in front of kingship, it is no different from ants. Wang Quan looked cold. Tell me the location of the headquarters, I promise not to kill you. This is also the only use value of Qingtong. There are a total of 7 guardians in the 10,000 Beast sect, each of which is almost the same in strength, but their identities are extremely mysterious. The mask that Qingtong was wearing was not removable, but was directly scalded on her face. Therefore, Wang Quan was too lazy to take off the mask, and it was a disfigured face that could not be seen. Hey, hee. Sooner or later the human race. Sooner or later, it will be ours. Qingtong is about to die. Still looking crazy. The beast god has recovered, and the powerhouses of the 3 dynasties are also recovering. Your days are running out. Wang Quan's indifferent expression directly pinched Qingtong's neck. Immediately, he threw it in front of Luo Tishan, whose limbs were cold. Snapped. Qingtong was not completely dead yet, and after falling to the ground, he spit out blood. Luo Tishan's face was already pale. Luo Hao also lost his interest and courage to question and watched this scene in panic. What happened in front of him was beyond his comprehension and tolerance. Yi Feng's eyes lit up, and he gave Qingtong a kick. Qingtong, who was already running out of oil, was kicked by Yifeng and broke a lot of ribs. Ding, successfully beheaded the 3-star Grand Master and obtained a martial soul holy stone. Yifeng was secretly satisfied after hearing the prompt tone. Well, the rare reward is not bad, but it's not in vain. Seeing Wang Quan looking at Luo Tishan indifferently, Yifeng pulled Luo Hao out and said, let's go outside and calm down. Luo Hao was so frightened that he lost his mind, so he was pushed out by Yifeng. After closing the door, Luo Hao was still shaking. Hey, Yifeng sighed and said nothing. Luo Tishan, are you killing yourself here or going to Death Valley to be a dead man? Wang Quan said coldly after seeing the door closed. Obviously Wang Quan didn't want Luo Hao to see his father being disposed of. Luo Tishan must die, but Luo Hao is indeed innocent. Luo Tishan took a deep breath and bowed deeply to Yi Feng. Then he said, Senior Zhonzun, I choose Death Valley. Wang Quan nodded. Okay. Death Valley is located in a military stronghold on the border of Zhengwu Dynasty. Due to the geographical location, both the human race and the Zhengwu Dynasty are bound to gain this. So Death Valley has the highest death rate. The dead man is used to self-destruct to die. It turns out that the teacher also has the title of Zhonzun. Yi Feng raised his brows. Is he such a middle schooler? Not long after, a god general from the prison came to take Luo Tishan away. The status of the god general is second only to the imperial capital and above the prison envoy. Teacher, is the myriad beast cult so difficult to investigate? Yi Feng frowned slightly. The 10,000 beasts religion and the 3 dynasties are closely related, naturally it is not so easy to investigate. Wang Quan said that he took Yi Feng and left the Luo family. But it's not impossible. Next time you catch a rudder master, your ability to hide in space is just in use. Wang Quan smiled and said, I will follow secretly at that time, maybe I can find something. The religion of the beasts has existed for a long time, even if the kingship does not know when it originated. Although this organization poses no threat to the kingship and them. But there are not a few geniuses big and small who have lost their lives in the hands of the 10,000 beast sect in the past 100 years. Therefore, whether it is Yi Feng or Ji Ming, they will pay special attention. After returning to school, Yi Feng locked himself in the Soul Origin Hall again. After one day of hard work yesterday, his martial soul fit has increased from 55% to 56%. Yi Feng is still very satisfied with the rate of increase of 1% in one day. Time flies by. Before I knew it, 4 days had passed. 60%. Yi Feng got up and stretched out, a little fortunate that he chose Dijing instead of another school. Soul Origin Hall is the only one, and only Dijing has it. And because of the Soul Origin Hall, Dijing's overall teaching staff is slightly higher than other schools. Under the escort of Yu Qingyan, Yi Feng entered the Shira Realm teleportation formation. In the blink of an eye, he came to the City of Heroes again. During this period, Yi Feng also took the time to extract 20,000 low-grade soul crystals. However, a total of 200,000 spirit points could only raise Yi Feng to 7 gold stars. 5 junior brothers, we are here. On the west side of the square, Lu Shaner has already assembled. Not many people, just 100 people. Except for Lu Shaner, the peak grandmaster, everyone else is at the diamond level. This time, Lu Shaner was mainly about training troops, and secondly about looting resources, so he planned to let Yi Feng go with him. After seeing Yi Feng, everyone greeted each other. Yi Feng was a little stunned. Why are they all women? Seemingly seeing Yi Feng's thoughts, Lu Shaner proudly said, 5th junior brother, my Suzaku team is very famous. Take these recruits to practice today. Although he is a recruit, his strength is not bad. Yi Feng nodded secretly. This should have been drawn from the major armies. Or they came here after participating in some kind of assessment. Hello Yi Feng, I'm Chen Hong. A young woman with a long-handled sword stepped forward and said enthusiastically, we have heard about the battle a few days ago, and I really admire it. I didn't expect to see the deity today. Yeah, everyone will definitely be more energetic with you in this training. Another woman also said, everyone is welcome. Yi Feng touched his nose. Well, these people really can't be seen as women, they are quite bold and enthusiastic, and they are more men than men. Okay, don't talk about it, let's go. Lu Shaner waved her hand. Chen Hong immediately took out a flying soul energy weapon. It couldn't compare to Chu Yang's flying boat, it was just a small fighter jet. After the group entered the fighter plane, under the control of Chen Hong, the fighter plane cut through the void at an extremely fast speed. It didn't take long. Captain, there is a situation in the 100 Burial Forest. Chen Hong looked at the detection screen and said suddenly. Lu Shaner was chatting with Yi Feng when she heard the words and asked, what's going on? The fluctuation of soul power in the southwest direction is abnormal. It may be a soul crystal or vein or a medicinal herb that has become a beast. Quote. Chen Hong looked at a pair of dense data analysis and said. Look at it. Lu Shaner was instantly overjoyed. She didn't expect that there might be a windfall on the way. Chen Hong, Zhou Kaier, Lu Meili, you three lead your own team, and the others follow my command. Lu Shaner said quickly. If you encounter a powerful soul beast, attack according to the formation we trained, and don't be heroic. Also, if it's too strong, just retreat. It's the captain. Everyone said in unison. Yi Feng watched with relish. Although they are all women, they are eye-catching. Especially that Zhou Kaier, a flower in 1,000 green bushes. In terms of appearance, it is not much worse than Lu Shaner. Junior brother, just follow me later. Lu Shaner looked relaxed. Strictly speaking, the 100 Burial Forest is a buffer zone for human beings. In recent years, many strong people from the human race have taken the initiative to attack, so that the soul crystal, so good Jiao or vein is rarely seen nearby. Buzz. The fighter plane hovered at an altitude of 100 meters. Except for 20 people on guard, all the others jumped off the fighter plane. This was Yi Feng's first time entering the 100 Burial Forest. The trees covered the sky, and the forest was extremely dark. Since there is no sunlight all the year round, the atmosphere is full of decay. Perhaps because of the nourishment of the corpse, most of the trees in the 100 Burial Forest are growing extremely well. Yi Feng looked into the distance and immediately noticed a huge tree 100 meters high swallowing a small star soul beast. Yi Feng and Lu Shaner walked side by side. Behind them, Chen Hong and Zhou Kaier moved forward in their respective formations. After walking for about 1,000 meters, the roar of spirit beasts could be heard from all around. It's the spotted demon tiger, ready to fight, Lu Shaner said loudly. Immediately, 80 people formed a triangular formation, which was specially used to attack soul beasts. Ouch! When the formation was set up, a deafening tiger roar came from the depths of the forest. The spotted demon tiger is a 6,300-year-old diamond 6-star soul beast. Yi Feng stood aside and narrowed his eyes slightly. Boom! Crack clap! The forest in the extreme distance was smashed by the spotted demon tiger one after another. Chen Hong, Zhou Kaier and Lu Meili looked solemn. The 20-person teams under their respective command completed the possession of the spirit at the same time, and everyone was excited. However, after waiting for a while, the spotted demon tiger did not rush out. Everyone be careful, this tiger is very smart, he is waiting. Lu Shaner said with narrowed eyes. She didn't intend to make a move. The spotted demon tiger was extremely fast and was good at mental attack, and ordinary 7-star diamonds might be hit if they were not careful. This tiger is just right for Chen Hong and the others to experience. Ow! Before Lu Shaner finished speaking, a black shadow swooped down from the sky above. Boom! Chen Hong and the others instantly blasted out their soul skills. But everyone later discovered that the spotted demon tiger was just pretending to attack, and before it rushed down the huge tiger body, it turned its direction slightly. It's a bit difficult to deal with their strength. Yi Feng saw the clue. The speed of this spotted devil tiger is not ordinary, and it is very likely that it has eaten something that can improve its speed. The Asura world is all-encompassing, and there are countless kinds of geniuses and treasures. If she can't beat the spotted demon tiger, I'll leave it to you, said Shaner on the 35th floor. No problem. Time passed little by little, and 1 minute passed before I knew it. The spotted demon tiger seemed to have left. Zhou Kaier's beautiful eyes showed a trace of tension, and Chen Hong and Lu Meili, who were not far away, both had white knuckles on their hands. This battle is their first lesson. If they don't perform well, they may be brushed down. So everyone is trying to do their best. Call out. At this moment, a dark shadow passed by quickly. The three of Zhou Kaier shouted at the same time, defense. Before the words were finished, a whistling that shocked the soul suddenly came. Boom! All 60 soldiers, including Zhou Kaier, fell to the ground looking extremely painful. A look of disdain flashed in the eyes of the spotted demon tiger. These humans are so immature. Saying that, he rushed from a distance and was about to kill everyone. But at this moment, a silver light flashed. Ow! The spotted demon tiger was about to let out a tiger roar to hurt the opponent's soul and suddenly found that the sound could not come out. As if stuck in his throat, it made him very uncomfortable. Yi Feng incited the void dragon eagle's wings to look up and down the spotted demon tiger. He, Cab, is. Who? This was the thought that flashed in the spotted demon tiger's head. Under the influence of the eternal barrier, the thinking of the spotted demon tiger dropped to the extreme. He didn't come to a complete standstill, though, but stopped at a speed that seemed funny. A black light slowly condensed in the open mouth of the blood basin. Everything seems to be slowed down by a factor of 100. Joe Kyer and others neatly got up and assumed a defensive posture. But the scene in front of them made everyone look stunned. Is it Yi Feng? Joe Kyer suddenly looked at Yi Feng. However, Yi Feng was seen floating in the air with a silver halo around his left and right wrists. This is a kind of martial soul manifestation after Yi Feng's martial soul fit is increased to 60%. The silver bracelets on the left and right wrists bear bright silver runes. The runes are intertwined to form what looks like a bracelet. The power of time burst out during the slow rotation, giving Yi Feng a mysterious and powerful aura. Yi Feng is also sensing the bracelet on his wrist. According to Wang Quan, after 60% fit, every 10% increase in martial arts has different degrees of limitations. When it reaches 100%, that is the Grand Master, and the power of the martial spirit can be fully exerted. Under Yi Feng's perception, the two silver bracelets condense the power of time. As long as his mind moves, he can use all the soul skills of the time divine clock. The time clock is said to be a clock, but in fact it is just a representation of time. It does not have any body, but the clock often represents time, so it becomes the appearance of a clock. With Yi Feng's current strength, the eternal barrier can only affect the spotted demon tiger for 2 seconds. 2 seconds is very short, but it is enough for Yi Feng to do a lot of things. When Yi Feng switched to the Void God Sword martial soul, a terrifying and fierce aura started from Yi Feng's body. The time clock possessed by Yi Feng gives people the feeling of mystery, majesty and a touch of divinity. And the sword of nothingness is extremely sharp. Yi Feng at this time is like the most terrifying weapon in the world, capable of tearing everything apart. Some of the soldiers in the early diamond stage below felt a little stinging in their eyes. Holding the sword of nothingness, the surrounding space rippled like water waves, and even Yi Feng's figure became a little illusory. This is also the performance after the martial soul fit is increased to 60%. According to Yi Feng's perception, as long as he possessed the sword of nothingness, he could avoid attacks from all directions with a certain probability. Shish! With Joe Kyer and other soldiers in high spirits, Yi Feng slashed out. At the same time, a dark purple soul ring appeared under Yi Feng's feet. 6,500 Void Dragon Crocodile Soul Ring Skill, Space Slicing. When Yi Feng just used his soul skill, the eternal barrier effect on the spotted demon tiger disappeared. Immediately, his dark body suddenly became torn apart. Ding! Congratulations on killing the spotted demon tiger and obtaining a Holy Spirit stone. Yi Feng was slightly taken aback when he heard the prompt tone. Is this rare reward too high? Or is it because of the improvement of your own strength that the spiritual spirit stone has been replaced by the spiritual spirit stone? Below, Joe Kyer and the others all stared at Yi Feng in unison. The first spirit ring is deep purple. This jealousy drives people crazy. Yi Feng, are you still short of women? Chen Hong giggled and said, I don't have high requirements, just be a concubine. Dead women know poor mouths. On the side, Lu Meili hummed, I have lower requirements, just a gun friend. Warges, women in the Legion are just not ordinary. Yi Feng thought to himself, and smiled on the surface. Don't just talk about it, put it into action if you have the ability. Lu Shaner glared at a few people. The 5th junior brother is mine, but your sister. Captain, what I mean is to cooperate with the Soul Cannon, what do you think? Lu Meili blinked and showed a sly look. Lu Shaner's expression was stagnant, and then he hummed, this time your performance is not very good. First, the spotted demon tiger is fast, but if there are no omissions in your formation, he will not be able to take advantage of it. Second, some of you defensive soul masters forgot to resist after the spotted demon tiger released the sonic attack. Third, the speed of getting up is too slow, haven't you had enough to eat? The last sentence scared Joe Kyer and the others to shrink their necks. OMG, the captain is too scary. There's not much time left for you, sisters. Lu Shaner said sternly. You only have 15 days of training time, and then you will go to the battlefield. If you can't do it, quit early. Captain, we can definitely do it. The beautiful Joe Kyer said quickly. HMPH, let's go. Shauner on the 99th floor was satisfied. After half an hour. 1. Lu Shauner waved his hand suddenly, and Yifeng's eyes were fixed on the bushes thousands of meters away. Under his perception, the fluctuation of soul power there far exceeds that of other places. In this case, either there is a soul crystal or vein, or it is a treasure of heaven and earth. Chen Hong immediately took out a ring-shaped instrument and began to probe. After a while, Chen Hong was pleasantly surprised. Captain, it's the soul crystal vein. Medium-sized soul crystal veins, reserves of 80,000 pieces. Really, Lu Shauner was a little stunned. I remember that the ore veins in the 100 Burial Forest have been mined long ago. For the first time, she thought that some kind of heaven and earth treasure was born. In the end, I didn't expect it to be a soul crystal, or vein. I do not know either. Chen Hong and the few people in charge of technical analysis were blank. It takes a long time for soul crystal veins to be mined, new veins are born. This time depends on the concentration of spirit power in the surrounding area. As short as 100 or 200 years, as long as thousands of years. The ore veins in the Forest of 100 Burials have all been mined in the past 10 years, and it is impossible for new soul crystal ore veins to be born in the next 100 years. Chen Hong took out a data analyzer and watched it for a long time. Hey, the concentration of spirit power within a radius of 10,000 meters is normal, strange. If the nearby spirit power concentration is high, then it can be explained. But only the bushes have higher soul power, which is a bit weird. It doesn't matter, it's over. Lu Shauner didn't think much about it, maybe she missed it. After all, the 100 Burial Forest is very large, and this area is not often they come to. And medium-sized soul crystal veins are very rare. According to the Terran policy, 20% of the plundered resources will be handed in and the rest will be distributed according to the merits. So everyone can make a profit this time. Joe Kyer attacked, Lu Meili helped defend, and Chen Hong filled the position. Lu Shauner quickly assigned tactics. 5th junior brother, you can take action. Anyway, the 5 junior brothers who will come to the Suzaku Corps after the Battle of the Buddha is over, may be under his command at that time. Yi Feng unfolded the Void Dragon Eagle's wings and teleported over. Immediately, the Void God Sword spirit possessed, and then the 3rd spirit ring appeared. Ripples appeared in the surrounding space. The next moment Yi Feng disappeared into the 100 Burials Forest. With Yi Feng's speed, he reached the sky above this bush in just a moment. Worry, there are so many soul beasts. Yi Feng's scalp is numb, and it is roughly estimated that there are at least 5,000 heads. The outside world does not have many soul crystal ore veins like the Chaos Secret Realm, and the number of soul beasts is rare. Whenever there is a soul crystal ore vein here, there will be a large number of soul beasts swarming here. After sensing it, Yi Feng looked towards the central area of the ore vein. There are 2 frost deer with 7 diamonds entrenched there. This frost deer should be a husband and wife, and there are a few dozing cubs squatting not far away. And 200 meters away from the beasts are other soul beasts dozing and perching. The frost deer didn't notice that Yi Feng was standing above their heads. Spatial concealment is not pure invisibility. Invisibility will also have soul power fluctuations, and even some soul beasts with keen senses can smell the smell of humans. But the space hiding is equivalent to Yi Feng placing himself in another space. At this time, even a soul beast with a keen sense of smell would not be able to find himself. Of course, spatial concealment is not invincible. According to the information given by the system, if the diamond is perfect or stronger, it is possible to find the subtle fluctuations in the space and detect Yi Feng's trace. Yi Feng did not act rashly, but waited quietly. After a while, Joe Kyer quietly appeared on the periphery of the mine with a team of 19 people. In the southwest direction, Lu Meili's team was fully prepared and ready to cooperate in defense at any time. In the distance, is Chen Hong's replacement team. Their task is to support Joe Kyer or Lu Meili at any time. Superior. Joe Kyer let out a coquettish cry, and kicked her beautiful legs hard on the ground. Her martial spirit is a plant-type psychedelic fruit, with hallucinogenic effects, and is a good control-type martial spirit. After the spirit possessed, the 4th spirit ring appeared under Joe Kyer's feet. Light black, Yi Feng estimates it should be around 30,000 years old. Boom. The battle is imminent. Joe Kyer's commando rushed into the soul crystal vein with lightning speed. Their mission was to kill the frost deer. Moo. The frost deer made a warning sound similar to a bull's roar, and the surrounding spirit beasts rushed towards Joe Kyer. Superior. On the side, Lu Meili led people to tear apart the encirclement of spirit beasts. Boom. All kinds of soul skills come and go one after another. With the coordination of Lu Meili, Joe Kyer's team quickly approached the frost deer. But what greeted them was the taunting of the frost deer and the terrifying low temperature. Ha! The snow-white frost deer is covered with a layer of ice armor, which is a soul skill with extremely strong defense. The doe, on the other hand, opened her mouth and spewed out ice blades. The damage of these ice blades is not high, but the speed is terrifying. PFF'd. What? Suddenly Joe Kyer and others were hit by the ice blade. Although the injury is minor, the speed has dropped a lot. Call out. Joe Kyer stared at her beautiful eyes and her red lips opened, and a cloud of pink mist quickly spread and enveloped the nearby 100-meter range. Immediately, many soul masters' eyes were blurred with a hint of excitement and wretchedness, and they were killed by soldiers who cooperated tacitly. Not good. Yi Feng looked at it for a while and shook his head secretly. If only one frost deer is fine, two of them can't beat them. Moreover, Yi Feng found that the buck was extremely calm so far, as if he had some trump card. Open. Not far away, Chen Hong rushed into the herd, and a pair of jade hands were instantly covered by blue arcs. Elemental martial soul lightning. Zi la la. Immediately, a large number of soul beasts were paralyzed and unable to move. But then more soul beasts slaughtered. Among them, the 10 diamond 5-star soul beasts were the most aggressive, and they approached Chen Hong in an instant. Stab. A sturdy blue rabbit claws tore apart Chen Hong's chest, revealing a lot of spring light. Chen Hong didn't take it seriously and slapped backhand. But the next moment, the buck, who had not joined the battlefield, moved. Boom. An icicle with a diameter of 20 meters fell from the sky. Not good. Chen Hong's pretty face changed greatly. She found that her legs were frozen at some point. The doe's face was hideous in the distance, and she could see that the three of Chen Hong were the ones in the lead. The soul beast also knows the principle of capturing the thief first and capturing the king. Just when Chen Hong was at a loss, call out, the scenery around Chen Hong changed. But it was moved to the center of the mine by Yi Feng. And the doe replaces Chen Hong to bear the big pillar of her husband. Ow! The doe screamed in pain, and a large amount of blood oozes from the snow-white back. Before waiting for the doe to react, a spirit ring appeared under Yi Feng's feet. Space cut. Shish. Suddenly a large piece of soul beast was cut into pieces. It wasn't over yet. Yi Feng cast void shift again to teleport the male deer out of the battle circle. In the blink of an eye, one of the two strongest was seriously injured, while the other was sent out of the battlefield. Yi Feng, thank you, Chen Hong said with a large piece of spring light. Yi Feng didn't look sideways. Big. It's not necessary. Without the threat of two stags, Joe Kyer and Lu Meili slaughtered a large number of low-level soul beasts in an instant. At this time, the deer roared and rushed towards Yi Feng. Yi Feng has already completed the switch of martial arts. The silver bracelets in both hands turned rapidly, and the first spirit ring appeared under the feet. Eternal enchantment. Immediately, everything within a kilometer radius was affected by the eternal enchantment. The speed of the buck's sprint instantly changed from an arrow off the string to an old man staggering forward. As for the other low-level soul beasts, it was miserable, and they stood still like sculptures in an instant. This is what? Soul skill. The male deer exerted all his strength to suckle, but his speed still did not improve. Joe Kyer's beautiful eyes suddenly widened. This. She was really shocked. This soul skill is too domineering, right? Yi Feng is only at the gold level, how can he actually affect a kilometer? And the buck was almost standing still, scary. He is so strong. Lu Meimei's mouth was so wide that she could almost stuff a whole cucumber. If it wasn't for Yi Feng, this battle would have been very difficult, and it might even have ended in failure. However, the existence of Yi Feng refreshed their understanding of team fighting. 317. 2 soul skills, just 2 soul skills, easily turn the tide of the battle. This is the king of teamfights, no, the god of teamfights. Which soul master doesn't like such a person? What woman doesn't love it? When Yifeng was about to harvest, a strong sense of crisis suddenly surged in his heart. Boom! A roar came from deep underground. At this moment, whether it was Yifeng or Zhou Kai'er, all their hairs exploded. Yifeng was about to teleport but was torn apart by a terrible suction. Boom! The soul crystal vein collapsed immediately, and everything within a radius of 800 meters seemed to fall into an endless black hole and sink. Not good. The pretty faces of Zhou Kai'er and others have changed dramatically. Those two frost deer are not the final boss. The strongest is actually hidden under the ore veins. Under the terrifying power of the soul beast, the eternal barrier disappeared instantly. There was a hint of playfulness in the stag's eyes. It had long expected the end of these humans. Hee, another batch has arrived. A stern voice came from the ground. The black devil dog opened his mouth with bloodthirsty eyes. As long as you swallow these people in your belly, forgive them no matter how much power they have. The moment the bloody mouth opened, the more terrifying suction pulled Yifeng and the others. At a very close distance, Yifeng could clearly see the rows of white fangs. Zhou Kai'er and others' pretty faces were full of despair, and they couldn't get rid of it. Can't even use strength, everyone is soft and unable to move. Just when everyone thought they were going to die. Call out. The silver light flashed, and the time retroactive took effect. Yifeng and his party returned to the position 1 minute ago. In the face of that powerful suction, the only way other than crushing it with strength is to go back in time. Time Rewind can ignore any control system skills. As long as Yifeng still has consciousness and soul power, it can be used. The black devil dog was stunned for a moment. What happened to my devouring power? Zhou Kai'er and the others were equally stunned and immediately ecstatic. It was Yifeng who rescued them all at the last minute. It's you who did it. The black devil dog reacted and looked at Yifeng, who had just completed the spirit switch. Yifeng has a feeling of getting old. How does this guy look so similar to Da Huang in his previous life? Void move. The black devil dog is so powerful that it has reached the diamond perfection. Yifeng didn't choose to fight hard, mainly because he couldn't beat it. As soon as his mind moved, he immediately used the power of diversion to evacuate his side from the swallowing range. Void movement can move 500 people a kilometer distance, and this person in front of him has no burden on Yifeng. Shish. There were ripples in the space, and in the blink of an eye, 61 people appeared thousands of meters away. Wong. The black devil dog barked in anger. Immediately, he jumped out from the ground and rushed towards Yifeng and others. But the next moment, a flame shield shot from a distance at high speed. PFF'd. The edge of the shield was extremely sharp and directly sank into the abdomen of the black devil dog. Ooh. The black devil dog suddenly felt pain and was about to burrow into the ground, but it was too late. Eternal boundary. Yifeng took the opportunity to slow down the black devil dog. Well, it just looks like it's slowed down by 1%. Want to run? Lu Shaner let out a coquettish cry, and the shield embedded in the belly of the black demon dog burst into flames instantly. Under the burning of the flame shield, the black devil dog was directly injured. Ow! Most of the huge figure of the black devil dog was roasted, and he spread out on the ground, gasping for breath. Hundreds of soul beasts around were curled up and shivering on the ground. Their leader was easily defeated, and the two frost deer were also terrified. Not far away, Zhou Kai'er and the others turned pale. Obviously they had not recovered from the shocking moment just now. Yifeng slapped the void dragon eagle's wings and the first spirit ring appeared under his feet. Space cut. Ha! Spaces within a range of hundreds of meters are instantly staggered. 0. Immediately, the heart of the severely injured black devil dog was torn apart. Large swaths of soul beasts turned into neatly cut steaks under the force of incomparably sharp space. Ding! You have successfully killed the black devil dog to get 10,000 spirit points. The system beep sounds. Yifeng didn't care, but the next moment Yifeng's body trembled. In the large corpse below, a leg bone that exudes a bright light comes into view. Soul bone. Warge. The light in Yifeng's eyes skyrocketed. This fool actually had a soul bone. Ha! Lu Shaner also let out a small yawn and then smiled and closed her mouth. Fifth junior brother, you are lucky. The probability of spirit bones being produced is extremely low, and often many spirit masters have not seen one for decades. This was the case with Lu Shaner. She had killed hundreds of thousands of soul beasts over the years, but she had never produced a soul bone. It's golden thorn. Yi Feng picked up the soul bone and said, "The golden thorn grass is only 800 years old, and this leg bone is also 800 years old. This soul bone is not just mine. Although it is rare to get a soul bone once, Yi Feng is not greedy at all. If you sell it, everyone will share a share." Zhou Kaier and others looked surprised at the same time. To be honest, it was the first time they saw the soul-killing beast emerge from the soul bone. Immediately they were very curious and happy. However, after hearing Yi Feng's words, Zhou Kaier and the others shook their heads. "Our rule here is who kills who. Yes, and you saved us, we shouldn't be separated. Yes, you are the savior, how could we possibly want something from the savior?" Zhou Kaier refused in unison. Lu Shaner patted Yi Feng's shoulder. "Fifth junior brother, you killed this, and your luck is yours." Good. Yi Feng is also not a person who grinds and chirps, and immediately accepts it. Yi Feng estimates that this soul bone should be able to sell for 60 million in the outside world, which is 600,000 if converted into martial soul points. It's not bad to get such a big harvest after going out. Yi Feng did not intend to absorb this soul bone. There are limited positions for spirit bones, and the system still has a chance to reward spirit bones, so Yi Feng didn't want to make do with it. Of course, this is Yi Feng, and if it is someone else, as long as it is basically suitable, I am afraid I can't wait to absorb it. Afterwards, everyone cleaned up the body of the soul beast. Whether it is on Earth or in the Shira realm, after the battle, try to clean up the corpses of the soul beasts. Otherwise, it is likely to attract more powerful soul beasts. After disposing of the corpse, Zhou Kaier's third team started mining. Everyone carried storage equipment, so the 80,000 low-grade soul crystals didn't have to worry about nowhere to put them. According to the rules of the human race, the Legion went out to plunder resources, 20% of the income was turned in, and the rest was distributed according to credit. That is to say, the amount that everyone can distribute has reached 64,000. Lu Shaner was watching the entire battle. Yi Feng gets 75%, Team 2 gets 12%, Team 3 gets 8%, Team 1 gets 5%. Lu Shaner said, "Do you have any opinions?" Team 2 is Zhou Kaier's commando team. They are facing the powerful frost deer, and the danger is the highest, so they take 12%. And Lu Meili and Chen Hong's first and third teams are relatively low risk and take less. As for Yi Feng, it was completely by himself that he reversed the outcome of everyone. Take 7,205% without anyone complaining. Many people even wanted to give their share to Yi Feng in return. However, Yi Feng rejected them one by one. Yi Feng's move made everyone grateful. Although they didn't say anything, many people became more respectful and polite towards Yi Feng's attitude. 680,000 martial soul points. Yi Feng smacked his lips with great satisfaction. Of course, this is not counting the spirit bones. If it were, it would be more than 1 million spirit points. Everyone, make some repairs, let the water be released, and set off in 10 minutes. Lu Shaner said. Lu Shaner just finished speaking and suddenly panicked. "Kui Lily, what are you doing?" In the distance, a beautiful female soldier crouched down on the spot. "Warge." Yi Feng looked at both heads. "By Lily, oh no, Kui Lily really doesn't treat me like an outsider." "Captain, I'm panicking," Kui Lily said without hesitation. "Besides, Yi Feng is not an outsider, so it won't hurt to show him. Everyone is not an ordinary female soul master, they have experienced the experience of blood and fire, life and death. Therefore, they are also more forthright, and I don't think there is anything to this kind of straightforward expression." Of course, it was because the object was Yi Feng. Although Kui Lily's words seemed to be a joke, they actually spoke the hearts of everyone. As a female soul master, a partner like Yi Feng is perfect, right? Lu Meili stomped her feet secretly, unable to see that her good best friend had the potential for tea. "I'm so pissed, why didn't I think of this trick?" Zhou Kaier is also secretly vigilant. "I have a lot of opponents." "You, put your pants up quickly." Lu Shaner blushed. "Didn't expect Kui Lily to be very good. No, I have to be careful." Cuckold. Kui Lily put on her pants and let out a proud laugh. "Captain, I'm teasing you. Do you like Yi Feng when you are so nervous?" Giggle. Others burst out laughing proudly. A strong female soldier with a stature of 1.9 meters said disapprovingly, "It's normal to like Yi Feng, and I like Li Tiehua too." Yi Feng's eyes widened suddenly. "Sister Tiehua, are you serious?" Chen Hong smiled and said, "Captain, let's compete fairly." Yes, you are the boss during training, but in private we are rivals in love." "Yeah, let's talk about it." "That's a good idea, hee hee." Seeing everyone chattering and robbing junior brother Lu Shaner, blue veins burst out on his forehead. "You're all resting, aren't you? After resting, let the old lady run with weight." Immediately, the killer move came. "Ah, no Captain. Hey, I said don't confront the captain head on, you have to listen. Captain Wu Wu's family has come to relatives and can't run away. Captain, it's okay if I'm wrong." 9. The girls from the original faction immediately collapsed. HMPH, that's about the same. Lu Shaner puffed out her chest proudly, "The demo is still far from fighting me." Yi Feng touched his nose, "There are so many big girls, it is definitely bloody." "Well, I have to hold on." Yi Feng secretly warned himself, otherwise, there would be nothing left. Of course, with the exception of Tiehua, Yi Feng estimated that he would be squeezed out. Amid the scuffle, the team assembled again. Lu Shaner decided to continue training here because of the accidental discovery of a ore vein in the 100 Burials forest. The fighter planes soared above to investigate the surrounding enemy, while the crowd wandered through the jungle. 3 days later, in the evening. After 3 days of exploration, the group did not find soul crystal veins. However, some rare 1,000-year-old medicinal herbs have been found a lot, and it is not unreasonable. It seems that there are really no soul crystal veins in this 100 Burials forest. Yi Feng said, "If there is no soul crystal, there is no need to waste time here. Then let's go somewhere else." Lu Meili said. In the past 3 days, Yi Feng once again made the female soldiers' admiration rise. Because of Yi Feng's existence, the team did not die, and all the battles went smoothly. Void Shift, Eternal Barrier, these 2 soul skills are enough for Yi Feng to handle most situations. In the face of those who are far stronger than himself, Yi Feng can easily dodge time backtracking. However, Yi Feng was also very distressed. As everyone got to know each other, the female soldiers became less and less aware of themselves as outsiders. After walking to the edge of a small river, Lu Shaner was moved. For the past 3 days, everyone was running around and didn't sleep at night. Coupled with the high-intensity battle, not to mention exhaustion, I really want to take a shower. After careful sensing, Lu Shaner said after confirming that there is no danger, "Sisters, today we will rest here for the night." Great. The female soldiers cheered in unison. Obviously, everyone wants to take a shower. Immediately watchful vigilance, camping. With Lu Shaner around, everyone was not worried about being attacked. "Okay, everyone go take a shower, I'll be on guard." Lu Shaner raised her arms. Suddenly a group of people ran towards the river. "Fifth junior brother, you can go too," Lu Shaner said. Cough, "Forget it, I'll go when they're done." Yi Feng coughed lightly. "Oh, what's the matter, marching and fighting are not so particular." Chen Hong walked over and said, "Let's go together, just take a hot spring." "This, I will not refuse." Crash. The clear river water washed away the fatigue of the past few days. Yi Feng only felt refreshed. There are white flowers all around. Chen Hong and the others were all wearing short sleeves and shorts, enjoying the touch of the river to the fullest. Hee, I really want to take off and take a shower." Me too. You wash yours, I'll go to the side." Yi Feng swam over consciously. So was heard in the distance. Yi Feng thought about the harvest of the past few days while rubbing. 5 minutes later, Yi Feng planned to go back to the shore and let Lu Shaner come to wash, but then a subtle wave disappeared in a flash. Boom. The next moment, the surrounding rivers exploded instantly. The terrifying impact was about to blast 20 people, including Yi Feng, out. What? Screams came and went. You must know that Zhou Kaier and the others are washing comfortably at this time, plus they are naked, this flight is immediately unobstructed. Yi Feng was also blinded, and I was also naked. Immediately after the terrifying impact, many female soldiers fainted. Call out. Immediately afterwards, a blue shadow like a detached arrow manipulated the water flow to wrap everyone together. Void move. At a critical juncture, Yifeng immediately cast Void Shift. PFF'd. Boom. Yifeng and all the girls fell on the shore 1,000 meters away at the same time and then escaped danger. The big fish didn't seem to expect that the meat in its mouth could run away, and rolled up the river and rushed over. Boom. But at the next moment, a flame shield lashed out. Court death. However, she saw Lu Shaner rushing towards her with slender and well-proportioned legs. As soon as she took off her clothes, she sensed the sneak attack of the mad-blooded hippo, and she didn't even bother to wear clothes in a hurry. Crash. Under the tyrannical soul power, the river water rose into the sky and immediately slapped on Yifeng and others. Ah, Zhou Kairyu had nowhere to put her hands and didn't know where to cover them. Hey, cover your face. Someone reminded. Immediately, except for Yifeng, 19 people started covering their faces. Yifeng was stunned for a moment. What kind of is this? I don't know it when I cover my face. Yifeng didn't look at the white flowers at the critical moment. Flap the wings of the void dragon eagle and cast a teleport to approach the river. Eternal boundary. The silver light bloomed and enveloped the river like moonlight. Immediately, the speed of the bloody hippo dropped by half. And Lu Shaner just kicked the belly of the bloody hippo while shaking up and down. Immediately, Suzaku's inextinguishable flames enveloped the mad-blooded hippopotamus. Ow! The terrifying high temperature instantly melted the mad-blooded hippo's skin. As a water soul beast, the mad-blooded hippopotamus is very afraid of flames. In the face of Lu Shaner's terrifying martial spirit attack, the mad-blooded hippo wanted to escape back to the deep water area, but was affected by Yifeng's eternal barrier and could not escape. After struggling a few times, the smell of meat came out. Immediately, the corpse of the mad-blooded hippo surfaced, and the entire river was stained with blood. The river was quiet again. Zhou Kair, Chen Hong and the others' faces were white and red. If it wasn't for Yifeng, they might have died. But just now, everyone was seen completely. Oh, it's all right. Anyway, we also watched Yifeng's, hee no loss. Yes, they cancel each other out. But, hey, I'm so shy. A group of people, you look at me, I look at you, and the style of the painting is not quite right. Wow Kair, you are so white. You too, and why are your legs so straight? By the way, I just found out that someone secretly glanced at Yifeng several times. By the way, Yifeng's figure is really good. Yes, oh my god, are all people with dual martial arts like this? I don't know. Simply Yifeng and Lu Shaner hadn't come over yet, and a few people were chatting while slowly dressing. By the river, Lu Shaner blushed and dripped blood. Her clothes were burned. Sister, I have it. Yifeng took out a robe from the storage space of the system. Lu Shaner didn't dare to turn around and just showed Yifeng's back. After getting dressed in a hurry, Lu Shaner turned around, and immediately said a little sullenly, "Junior brother." Oh, Yifeng just came back to his senses, he hasn't worn it yet. He quickly put on his clothes. Lu Shaner turned around again, only to find that Yifeng had a stick attached to his waist. PFF'd, you are still carrying, ah! Lu Shaner screamed and ran away. Disappointing. Yifeng bowed his head and cursed angrily, then walked over slowly. Next to the camp, many female soldiers who had not had time to take a bath stared at each other. Immediately after hearing someone say with a heartache, "A bunch of little sluts. All go now." Li Tiehua was fast, like a humanoid tank rushing into the water. Stupid, Yifeng is gone. That's right, what's the use of going now? After a while, Li Tiehua came over dejectedly dressed and carrying the corpse of the bloody hippo. After the candid treatment before, the atmosphere became a little more meaningful. Yifeng has nothing to do with himself, he is all in his heart. On the contrary, Zhou Kair and the others have been embarrassed to look at Yifeng, and occasionally after whispering a few words in private, their pretty faces flushed. The long night was long, except for the occasional roar of the soul beast, the 100 Burials forest seemed extremely silent. Cough, everyone, let's eat. Lu Shaner broke the silence with a light cough. That's right, hurry up and eat. I haven't eaten the flesh of a bloody hippo. Go to sleep after eating, and fight tomorrow. The flesh and blood of a soul beast is a great supplement to a soul master. After taking it, it can increase some soul power. After eating a delicious meal, Lu Shaner said, "Except the security team, everyone else should sleep." Fifth junior brother, you also go to sleep. Yi Feng glanced at the big tent next to him, and then looked around again. Well, they should have slept together. Suddenly I don't want to go back to school. Yi Feng thought to himself, but said, Senior sister, let me accompany you. No, it's good for me to chat with them, and I don't need to sleep. With the strength of Grandmaster Lu Shaner's peak, even if it is a long-term battle, it is not necessary to sleep. On the contrary, Yi Feng was really sleepy. In the tent, Ying Ying Yan Yan and Yi Feng didn't know where to sleep for a while. He come to me too. Kui Lily waved to Yi Feng. Although they are sleeping, everyone is still wearing armor, and the standard weapons are also around, ready to respond to various situations. Yi Feng said hello to a few weirdos, and then walked to the side. Good job everyone, don't be restrained, everyone has been frank with each other, relax. Kui Lily said with a smile and put the quilt next to Yi Feng. Yi Feng, can you sleep? Yi Feng joked. If you're not sleepy, I'll ask senior sister to give you extra training. Don't, I'm scared. Kui Lily immediately surrendered and turned around to face Yi Feng with her pretty buttocks. I don't know how long it took. Yi Feng stumbled and found that there was a dishonest little hand groping in his thigh. Yi Feng slept lightly and suddenly became alert. Out of the corner of the eye, he saw that Zhou Kaier blushed and stuffed 3 crystal-clear medicinal pills into her trousers pocket. Yi Feng still closed his eyes, but he clearly sensed that it was a heavenly soul pill. Good guy, it turned out to be an elixir. Yi Feng Bai was excited for a long time, but this Zhou Kaier was quite attentive and knew that her soul power was consumed by a huge amount in the team battle. These 3 heavenly soul pills should have been bought by her after saving for a long time, right? In the past few days, Lu Shaner and Yi Feng briefly introduced the situation of this batch of recruits. Zhou Kaier's family was average, and her parents were unfortunately killed in a wild beast swarm. I spent my childhood at my aunt's house. As an adult, Zhou Kaier chose to join the army, and later became a soldier of the Suzaku Corps with her excellent talent and excellent performance. Zhou Kaier's pretty face was slightly red, and her heart was like a deer. Fortunately I didn't wake up. Thinking about Zhou Kaier lying down quietly, she couldn't fall back asleep. 10 minutes later, the thing that made Yi Feng speechless came, and another small hand touched it. What? Quote, in the dark night, I couldn't see anything, and when my little hand touched something, an exclamation sounded. The voice was very small, but it couldn't hide Yi Feng, who was pretending to be asleep. Is it Kui Lily? Yi Feng was looking forward to something in his heart. But it didn't take long for Kui Lily to stuff 2 heavenly soul pills into her pocket. What? She didn't seem to expect Yi Feng to have the heavenly soul pill in his pocket. Kui Lily let out a light sigh. Is she ready too? Zhou Kaier, who was lying next to him pretending to be asleep, was stunned. The good guy is quite tacit. It's just that the little hand seemed to stay a little longer, After delivering the medicine pill, Kui Lily reluctantly withdrew her hand. Should be gone, Yi Feng thought to himself. It seems that everyone is not only admiring them in their mouths these days, but also thinking about repaying them in their hearts. But Yi Feng will definitely not accept it. Really. After a while, a small hand explored Yi Feng's chest for a long time. Then put 2 heavenly soul pills in. There was no sound this time, but Yi Feng opened his eyes a little. It was Chen Hong's. Chen Hong's heart was beating violently. A pair of beautiful eyes peeking around from time to time has a feeling of being a thief. After delivering the medicinal herbs, Chen Hong quickly pulled back her little hand. Seeing the silence in the tent, Chen Hong breathed a sigh of relief, and then secretly looked at Yi Feng, who was sleeping. Smelly Chen Hong. Zhou Kaier and Kui Lily cursed at the same time. Yi Feng waited for a while and found that no one was continuing, so he fell asleep at ease. This time, Yi Feng slept soundly and had a dream at the same time. In the dream, he entered a narrow hole with a gun. Relying on brute force to break the light film of the hole, and after a series of fierce battles with the guardian spirit beast, the opponent left red blood. After that, a small snake rushed out and kept winding its own spear. The little snake is a little clumsy, but works very hard. In the end, the spear spewed out white flames towards Xiaoxi's mouth, losing her soul power and drooping down. 5 hours later, Yi Feng opened his eyes and woke up. It was still pitch black inside the tent, and it was clear that it was still dark. The female soldiers all around were lying in disorder, all in their sleep. As if something happened while I was asleep. Yi Feng got up and scratched his head, quite cool. Just when Yi Feng opened the tent, a female soldier opened her eyes. Her beautiful eyes were a little tired, and her face was rosy. Outside the tent, several female soldiers in charge of vigilance were looking around vigilantly. And Lu Shaner sat cross-legged on the tent to practice. Fifth junior brother, are you awake? Lu Shaner opened her eyes and asked, how did you sleep? Good, Yi Feng said. It was quite a peaceful night. Because there are no high-level soul beasts in our area. Lu Shaner jumped from the tent with a loud bang. Immediately, Chong sniffed. The smell on your body is so strange. Have it. Yi Feng also smelled it. Ha, the familiar smell. Worthy. Yi Feng seemed to have thought of something. I don't know, I can't tell you anyway. Lu Shaner turned her eyes to Yi Feng's clothes and said angrily, these people are not honest when sleeping, and their saliva sticks to you. Saying that, he took out a napkin and wiped it. Yi Feng looked extremely strange when he saw this. Senior sister is not what you think. You guys go to bed. Lu Shaner didn't understand this, looked at a few people in the distance and said, thank you, Captain. Several people suddenly got into the tent with great joy. Lu Shaner and Yi Feng sat on the ground side by side. Lu Shaner looked up at the sky and saw a lush leaf. Junior brother, do you know what human beings were like in the past? Lu Shaner asked. Do not know. I heard that a long time ago, when there were no soul beasts and soul masters, the life of the human race was very peaceful. Everyone can travel with peace of mind, and the wild and camp dangers are all scenic spots. Moreover, in the past, people could use spacecraft to explore the moon. Lu Shaner said with some yearning. Since the Earth's mutation, soul beasts began to appear. After that, soul masters appeared among the human beings, relying on the first batch of soul masters to barely preserve the human fire. However, the sky after that seemed to have an additional barrier. No matter how strong the soul master is, or how advanced the soul energy fighter is, they will never be able to leave the Earth. This has become a big question now. It's just that the people who know it are limited to some powerful soul masters. It's strange that the Earth's gravity hasn't increased. Yi Feng asked curiously. The gravity here is the same as in the previous life, so why can't it fly out? Do not know. Lu Shaner shook her head. I heard from my family that the Earth is imprisoned by something. Yi Feng was a little creepy. What's the meaning? It's man-made anyway, not like the power of the laws of heaven and earth. Lu Shaner retracted her gaze, and the first batch of people who awakened their martial spirits died very early. Died very early? Yi Feng asked suspiciously. I can't tell. Anyway, it's a long history. I always listen to my mother. Lu Shaner shook her head. These are secret to ordinary people and most low-level soul masters. And for them it's common sense. Who is your mother? Yi Feng asked. If what Lu Shaner said is true, then the early history is worth pondering. Also, what kind of existence can imprison the entire Earth? What is the meaning and purpose of not letting everyone fly out? According to Yi Feng's understanding, the Soul Master can be said to be out of the realm of people when he reaches the Grand Master. You don't need to breathe, sleep without eating, etc. According to the standards of the previous life, the Great Master of this world is enough to sweep any country in the previous life. In the novel, they are all terrestrial gods. Even if these people can't fly out, this confinement is a bit scary. You do not know. Lu Shaner was a little stunned. My mother is Suzaku. What? Yi Feng was really surprised. Suzaku, one of the 3 pillars of the human race, is your mother. Lu Shaner nodded. I thought you knew, the 3rd child didn't tell you. No. Yi Feng's face is stunned, and this co-author is the real background. Since she said it, the credibility is very high. Yi Feng said thoughtfully. Suzaku, Fa Zun and Chess King are all existences above the king. They all have a long lifespan. Even if they don't break through in their entire lives, they can live 20,000 years easily. For example, kingship can live 10,000 years. This is already a mythical figure. By the way, my mother told me a funny thing before. Lu Shaner seemed to have thought of something. 5th junior brother, I tell you, don't tell other people. Yi Feng listened intently. He had a faint feeling that maybe he was in touch with the most secret thing in this world. It seems that the first martial spirit that appeared in the human race was the clock of time. Lu Shaner said. What? Yi Feng's face changed slightly. At that time, the human race was in a precarious situation. The first soul master appeared in the human race, and his martial spirit was the god of time, Zhang. But what is that person's name, and what strength he achieved later is not clear. It's been so long since my mother was born in those days, yet. Lu Shaner said, but she mentioned it to me inadvertently, saying that that person has a big secret, and she didn't tell me what it was. No one should know about this. Don't tell anyone. Yi Feng nodded, but there was a huge storm in his heart. I heard that Emperor Li Qing 1,000 years ago was also the god of time. Does anyone else have the god of time besides the two of them? Yi Feng asked. He originally thought that Emperor Li Qing was the first soul master to possess the time clock. But who knows, there is even earlier. Moreover, this person was the first in the human race to awaken the martial spirit. In this way, the time clock may hide some secrets. Then it's gone. Lu Shaner said with great certainty. Eldest fifth, this is the number one martial spirit, and it's not Chinese cabbage. It's amazing to be able to show up 3 times. Yi Feng nodded thoughtfully. Immediately, he asked, Senior sister, you said earlier that the first batch of people who awakened their martial spirits died very early. Can you be specific? Lu Shaner smiled sweetly. I didn't expect you to be very interested in these gossips. After thinking about it, Lu Shaner continued. I heard that the first person to awaken the martial spirit is called the soul ancestor. The earliest soul beasts are not very strong, and they have been very powerful for thousands of years. Later, an overlord appeared among the soul beasts, and that overlord was killed by the soul ancestor. But being able to kill the overlord means that he must have the strength of a great master, but soul ancestor only lived a few decades. The others are 2, I don't know the specific reason. Yi Feng thought, is there any division of the first batch of martial soul awakening, or according to time? Well, it is said to be the first batch within the first year. Lu Shaner said. Yi Feng was a little surprised. The human race in those days was not easy. But why only a few decades old? It shouldn't be. Could it be that the martial spirit in the earliest period was defective? Or are there any restrictions on the laws of heaven and earth? These Yi Feng couldn't understand, and maybe no one even knew the reason. Well, maybe Suzaku knows. Yi Feng thought to himself. He instinctively realized that there must be some shocking secret behind this incident. Yi Feng asked again, what about the phantom sword? Apart from Senior Guan Junshan, has anyone else awakened? Lu Shaner shook her head after thinking about it. I don't know, I didn't ask. If you weren't here, I wouldn't be able to remember these things. For Lu Shaner, this is all gossip, just listen to it. But Zhu Ke told Lu Shaner not to mention it to others. So Lu Shaner didn't tell anyone, except Yi Feng. Yi Feng took it to heart. For some reason, he had to find time to understand. After all, it involves his own martial soul, and it is the first human race to appear, so there must be a connection between them. According to the current human history, the awakening of the martial soul started 2,100 years ago. The human race before that was no different from Yi Feng's previous life. The two then chatted about something else. And just like that, it dawned on me before I knew it. Whoa, the curtains of the tent were lifted, and everyone walked out of the tent in great spirits. Sleep well, it's been a long time since I slept so soundly, the captain is so nice. Why do I think the captain is here to take care of her 5th junior brother? Hey, what you said seems to be true. Chen Hong and the others said in a low voice. What nonsense are you talking about? Lu Shaner glared at a few people. Get ready and leave in 5 minutes. Hee good. Everyone laughed and started the day. While everyone was busy, Yi Feng walked over to Zhou Kaier. Zhou Kaier's face flushed. Yi Feng, what's the matter? Thank you for your kindness, but I have no shortage of medicinal pills. Yi Feng showed a gentle smile. Zhou Kaier was a little embarrassed. Ah, you know. Nonsense, did I sleep so dead? Yi Feng rolled his eyes and handed over the heavenly soul pill. Don't do such stupid things in the future. Oh, Zhou Kaier is the kind of person who is relatively introverted, and as a result, she trotted away after the pill. Why does the walking posture feel a little strange? Yi Feng glanced at Zhou Kaier suspiciously. thinking that this woman was quite nervous when she was found out that she was guilty as a thief. Then Yi Feng went to Kui Lily and Chen Hong respectively to return the medicine pill. The former was fine, and accepted it with a smile. On the contrary, Chen Hong refused all kinds of strict words, and finally Yi Feng coerced and lured him to agree to continue. After half an hour, a group of people moved quickly through the woods. Stop. Lu Shaner suddenly looked a little dignified. What's the matter, Captain? Something's wrong. Lu Shaner looked around, and suddenly her expression changed slightly. I'm in illusion. As soon as this statement came out, everyone turned pale. Yi Feng looked around. There was no difference between this place and other places. And didn't feel sick either. It seems that we are being targeted by the soul beast. Lu Shaner said that the spirit possessed Suzaku turned into a round shield with a bang. Others also possessed their spirits. Yi Feng wanted to cast time backtracking, but he didn't even know when, so he didn't cast it rashly. Boom. At this time, there was a roar from a distance. Go up and see, Lu Shaner said. As soon as I took a step forward, the surrounding scenery suddenly changed. Crash. Like a piece of broken glass, those incomparably real scenery shattered at the same time. Immediately, a world where you can't see your fingers is revealed. It is the descendant of the Phantom Master. Lu Shaner's face suddenly became a little ugly. The Phantom Master is one of the rulers of the Zhengwu Dynasty. He is powerful, but his main task is to protect the imperial capital, so he rarely enters the line of sight of the human race. His mission is similar to that of the two imperial prisoners. The strength is very strong. It should be the great perfection of the Beastmaster. As soon as Lu Shaner finished speaking, Zhou Kaier and others had already formed an attacking formation. It should be 2, and a diamond 8 stars. Lu Shaner said solemnly. Leave that Beastmaster to me, the 8-star diamond, the 5th junior brother, cooperate with you. Chen Hong, I listened to Yi Feng for this battle. Yi Feng nodded. The 8-star diamond was a bit tricky, but it wasn't a big problem. It was mainly on Lu Shaner's side. Just after the tactics were allocated, a pair of green eyes suddenly appeared in the dark world. Haha, Captain Suzaku really deserves his reputation. A hollow, stern voice sounded from all directions. The next moment, a giant humanoid beast with a height of dozens of meters appeared in front of everyone. Aren't you the master? Lu Shaner held the flame shield and narrowed her eyes. You guessed right. Before Lu Shaner finished speaking, a 2-meter-high phantom appeared behind everyone. The corners of the magic demon's mouth had a playful look. Captain Suzaku didn't expect you to be in such a situation today, right? Stop talking nonsense, let's fight. With a trace of anger on Lu Shaner's face, she instantly rushed to the Beastmaster who was the Great Master. It seems that some people can't wait to die. Huan Cheng looked indifferent, and as he spoke, he stepped forward and took a step, and the surrounding scenery began to change like a revolving lantern. Well, since Captain Suzaku already has an opponent, then I, Huan Yu, will play with you. Huan Yu, 333, hovered in midair and looked down at Yi Feng and the others. What about Yi Feng? Chen Hong asked. Kill it. This game should be aimed at Lu Shaner. Lu Shaner is Suzaku's daughter, and her combat power is extremely strong, so she must be the focus of the soul beast's care. Arrangement. Chen Hong said loudly, and the team of 100 people immediately gathered into the appearance of a sharp knife. Unstoppable. Phantom Yu shook his head with a look of disdain. In the distance, the battle between Lu Shaner and Huan Cheng has already begun. In the fantasy space of Wancheng, its combat power is stronger than that of the outside world. The so-called fantasy space is somewhat similar to the time dimension and the independent space opened up by the Eclipse Dragon Python before. However, the formation of the illusion space is not so easy, and it takes a long enough time for the illusion in the target. In other words, Yi Feng and the others were still in the 100 Burial Forest. It's just that he has constructed such a world in his mind because he has been in the illusion for too long without knowing it. In terms of subtlety and intractability, fantasy space obviously cannot be compared with time dimension. Buzz. Huan Yu is no nonsense. He is not interested in these weak human beings. Lu Shaner was his first target. A purple soul power instantly shot at Chen Hong and the others. Chen Hong looked dignified and was about to go to the defense. However, Huan Yu ignored Yi Feng's existence. The main reason is that Yi Feng's current strength is only 7 gold stars, which is very inconspicuous among these people. But the next moment, Huan Yu suddenly looked blank. How did I come to this place? Yi Feng and Lu Shaner have cooperated more than once in the past few days, so the moment he saw Huan Yu, Lu Shaner immediately shot. Not good. Huan Yu's face changed dramatically. I was overcast. Before I could think about it, Huan Yu suddenly had a phantom in the sky. Boom! Lu Shaner's fist slammed on the phantom, and was instantly sent flying out. The Phantom Lord. Lu Shaner was not surprised. As the son of the Phantom Demon Master, this phantom feather must have its imprint on it. Court death. Huan Cheng obviously didn't expect humans to have this trick. Although Huan Yu relied on the Lord's mark to save his life, this was also his negligence. Immediately, the entire body of magical success flashed purple light. One after another, hallucinogenic soul power rushed towards Lu Shaner. Lu Shaner was not afraid to fight with her holding a flame shield. Over there, Huan Yu's face turned white and white. Immediately, he looked at Yi Feng suddenly. You did it. Yi Feng shrugged. Not bad. Before he finished speaking, Yi Feng teleported out. Call out. The ripples in the space spread, and Yi Feng instantly appeared within a kilometer of Huan Yu. Court death. Huan Yu was furious when he saw that Yi Feng actually attacked him. Boom! A group of purple soul power instantly appeared in Huan Yu's hand. Soul power is as bright as the sun. Call out. However, what made Huan Yu depressed was that his attack that was originally aimed at Yi Feng appeared on his back for some reason. Boom! Immediately, Phantom Feather was bombarded firmly. It's just that a flash of light on his body cancels out all the attacks. It's a bit tricky. Yi Feng's head was big. This guy has a lot of trump cards to save his life. Does the Master Descendant have such a big face? You are a space system soul master. Huan Yu said suddenly, with a trace of greed in his eyes. If you are handed over to Tianlong, he will definitely be very happy. Yi Feng looked at Huan Yu with a half smile but not a smile. You probably don't know that his son has become my soul ring, right? HMPH, I want to see how many times you can cast it. Huan Yu's 2-meter-tall body suddenly shrank. In the blink of an eye, it became the size of a grain of rice. Call out. Yi Feng was prepared to turn on stealth instantly. The rice grains are emptied and turned into normal size again. 0. It's just that this time, Huan Yu's eyes showed a hint of stunned. Tiantong was killed by you. He recognized Tiantong's soul skill. That is the only ability of the entire Zhengwu dynasty. Don't worry, you will go down to accompany him. Yi Feng said that there were ripples under his feet, and then disappeared again. That is, at the moment when Yi Feng disappeared, Chen Hong and the others were all in one soul. Boom! A blood-colored beam of light quickly shot to the left of Phantom Feather. Huan Yu looked contemptuous. This attack was too slow. However, just when he dodged to the right to find Yi Feng, PFF'd. The space in front of him suddenly became extremely sharp. Unprepared, the soft animal skin armor on Huan Yu's body was cut. Yi Feng was not surprised to see that Huan Yu was not hurt. Yu Guang glanced at Yi Feng in the distance and thought. Taking advantage of the moment Huan Yu was shocked, he was moved to Lu Shaner again. It's just that this time it wasn't Lu Shaner attacking Huan Yu, but Huan Cheng. Boom! A fist made of purple soul power slammed into Huan Yu. Phantom's face changed drastically. Ah! This time, the Master Mark did not completely resist. Huan Yu's face instantly turned pale, and several ribs were broken in his chest. This is because it was blocked once by the mark, otherwise it may be directly smashed. The Lord's mark is not a cabbage, even if the Lord wants to condense it is not so easy. Before this, Phantom Feather had activated several times. This thing, the more activations, the weaker the power. It's done. Chen Hong and the others were immediately overjoyed. The purpose of their formation attack just now was to make Huan Yu clone themselves. Huan Yu's injury is not light, but the anger in his heart is even worse than the injury. Human, you dare to hurt my master. Huan Cheng looked at Yi Feng with a faint gaze. Die. Call out. A purple sharp blade silently appeared on Yi Feng's back. Boom. As soon as the purple sharp blade appeared, it was smashed by Lu Shaner. Fifth junior brother, you just kill the little one and leave the big one to me. Lu Shaner was murderous. I don't believe that the little ones die and the big ones still live. In the world of soul beasts, when the master dies, the servant must be buried with him. Sure enough, after listening to Lu Shaner's words, Huan Cheng's expression froze. Lu Shaner, you are challenging my anger. Chapter 91. So what if you challenge me? You will pay the price if you dare to attack me. Lu Shaner said lightly. Huan Yu on the side looked at Yifeng resentfully, clutching his chest. Because of the injury, he could no longer maintain his half-human form and turned into a giant rabbit shaped like a rabbit. It's just that this rabbit is not cute at all, but very hideous. Huan Cheng glanced at Yifeng and immediately said, Lu Shaner, although it is a little difficult to kill you, it is very easy to kill him. Hehe, you can try. Yifeng said with a smile. Mada wanted to use me to blackmail senior sister, think too much about you. Lu Shaner was unmoved. Then we'll be quicker to see who. As soon as this remark came out, he did not speak. In terms of speed, he really can't compare to Lu Shaner. Call out. The next moment, Huan Cheng moved. The surrounding scenery is changing faster, and just looking at it makes people feel dizzy and nauseated. Yifeng was fine, but many of the female soldiers were already pale and unsteady. Boom. The purple soul power in the sky is intertwined, and Lu Shaner's eyes are confused for a moment. Immediately, Huan Cheng's palm was about to take off Lu Shaner's head. Bang! Huan Cheng did not succeed, and the flame shield blocked Huan Cheng's palm as if it had spirituality. At the same time, Lu Shaner regained a trace of vigilance in her eyes. Buzz! Immediately, the fifth spirit ring appeared under Lu Shaner's feet. The dark black spirit ring shone with light, and immediately saw Lu Shaner's figure blurred immediately. Immediately after hearing the sound of shushashushu, 6 Lu Shaner appeared. In the face of Huan Cheng's super control ability, Lu Shaner's clone can play a very good role in confounding and gaining more initiative for himself. Lu Shaner and Huan Cheng were fighting fiercely, but Yifeng began to think about how to kill Huan Yu. That kid is now hiding behind Huan Cheng to adjust his breath, and he is very far away from Yifeng. Human boy, I must kill you when I finish adjusting my breath. Sensing Yifeng's sight, Huan Yu opened her eyes and glared at Yifeng fiercely. Yifeng took a step forward and suddenly Huan Yu's expression became stagnant and moved further away. Haha, idiot, Yifeng laughed and said. I'm teasing you, the son of the illustrious master is so virtuous, it seems that your lousy is not very good. Yifeng intends to force Huan Yu to come over. Huan Yu was really furious. You fool, how dare you insult my father god? However, Huan Yu is also a person who cherishes his life. This is a bit tricky. Yifeng shook his head secretly, it seemed that he could only increase the age of the spirit ring. In the past few days of slaughter, he got 5 martial soul holy stones and 1 martial soul divine stone. Yifeng has been useless, and plans to wait for the opening of the Buddha battlefield, so as to retain his strength as much as possible to surprise the people of the Zhengwu dynasty. Forget it, these two are going to die anyway. Thinking of this, Yifeng made a decision. Host, Yifeng, Boundary, Gold 7 stars. Martial Soul, Void God Sword. Soul Ring, 1. Nether Dragon Crocodile, 6500, Space Slicing. 2. Deep Space Cloud Beast, 95,000, Void Shift. 3. Sky Eclipse Dragon Python, 5900, Space Concealment. Martial Soul, Time Clock. Soul Ring, 1. Time Sacred Tortoise, 8800, Eternal Enchantment. 2. Death Wolf, 150,000 years, Death and Decay. 3. Yinwei Tianhe, 4,000 years, Time Back. Soul Bone, 1. External Soul Bone, Void Dragon Eagle, minus Teleport. Martial Soul Point, 160,000. After some operations, the Soul Ring of the Deep Space Demon Cloud Beast was raised to 95,000 years by Yifeng. It's been very close to 10,000 years. After the upgrade, the range limit of Void Shift has been increased to 5,000 meters. The number of people that can be moved has increased to 5,000. When Huan Yu looked at Yifeng again, he suddenly found that the human's eyes were somewhat malicious. Huan Yu was immediately vigilant. But when he thought that the guy was more than 3,000 meters away from him, he should not be able to get there, and his heart suddenly became much calmer. Yifeng didn't do it the first time. After all, this was just the beginning. Whether it was Huan Yu or Huan Cheng, they were still very alert. And just like that, 10 minutes passed with time. In the distance, Huan Cheng and Lu Shaner were indistinguishable. Lu Shaner's combat power itself is super strong, and can be called the first person under the Great Master. In the previous battle in Blood Town City, Lu Shaner alone fought against the 3 Peak Beast Kings with ease. But this is the fantasy space of Wancheng, which has a lot of bonuses to Wancheng's strength. Rao was so shocked that Huan Cheng was terrified. The purpose of their trip was to assassinate Lu Shaner. Huan Cheng originally thought that the illusion space would be enough to instantly kill any Grand Master, but this Lu Shaner was unexpectedly strong. What annoyed him the most was that the flame shield also had the ability to resist mental attacks. Gradually, Huan Cheng's attention began to shift. The human kid and the other soldiers were waiting in place, seemingly giving up. Huan Cheng didn't think about it anymore. He wanted to take down Lu Shaner as soon as possible. As long as Lu Shaner died in battle, the others were nothing to worry about. At that time, if you bring that human kid to the Heavenly Dragon Lord, you will definitely get a large reward. Huan Yu, not far away, has almost adjusted his breath. He looked at Yi Feng with glaring eyes, and when Huan Cheng took down Lu Shaner, "You're dead, kid." As for going forward to fight Yi Feng, he no longer dared. Although the soul skills of the illusion type are difficult to deal with, they are still far from the space system. Just as Huan Yu continued to recover, Yi Feng suddenly looked over. The next moment, the surrounding space squirms rapidly. Huan Yu didn't notice it at all, but Huan Cheng sensed it. "Master, run." Saying that, Huan Cheng didn't care about fighting with Lu Shaner, and turned around and slapped it with a big hand. But the next moment, all his attacks were blocked by Lu Shaner. Immediately afterwards, the phantom feather disappeared. "You dare!" Huan Cheng roared in anger. "Goodbye." Yi Feng said that death and decay is activated. Boom. The power of the 150,000-year spirit ring burst out in an instant, and a terrifying might surged into the sky. Huan Yu reacted, his face changed drastically and he ran away. But then, he found in horror that his speed was a little slower than before. Immediately, the feeling of powerlessness grew stronger. Huan Yu glanced at his limbs, and suddenly found that his hair had become extremely dull. Immediately afterwards, the speed became slower and slower, and in the end it was almost standing still. "No, save me, save me." Huan Yu was horrified to find that he was getting old, and that something in his body was passing quickly. Before a sentence was finished, Huan Yu's voice was extremely old. Immediately, there was a deep sense of fear and despair in his eyes. I don't want to die, these 4 words have no chance to say. Under the influence of the death and decay of the 150,000-year spirit ring skill, Huan Yu was completely dead. But it's not over yet. Suddenly, the corpse standing there suddenly cracked like a sculpture made of sand, and immediately turned into countless powders and floated in the air. In the past, death and decay could only make the target die of old age, but now even the corpse will be weathered and no longer exist. Ding! Successfully kill the magic beast to activate the god level reward. Congratulations to the host for getting. Ding! Successfully kill the magic beast to activate the god level reward. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 20 high-grade soul crystals. Yi Feng was stunned when he heard the system beep. Soul crystal, only 20. That's all. No, top-grade soul crystal. Yi Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. As we all know, 1 mid-grade soul crystal is equivalent to 100 low-grade soul crystals. And 1 high-grade soul crystal is also equivalent to 1 middle-grade soul crystal. 20 soul crystals are exchanged for low-grade soul crystals, that is, 200,000 low-grade soul crystals, which is 2 million martial soul points. Yi Feng's eyes widened. This is too cool. 2 million martial soul points. The richest harvest in history, no one. This will definitely give me several stars in a row. Yi Feng's heartbeat is racing. As long as he has a soul ring, he can naturally become a diamond-level powerhouse. Do not. Unlike Yi Feng's ecstasy, Huan Cheng's heart was filled with fear. He looked pale at the powder flying in the sky. No, this is impossible. Master is dead. He died. How come? Nice job. Lu Shaner was both surprised and shocked. Yi Feng actually has a 100,000-year spirit ring. Zhou Keier and all the female soldiers were stunned. OMG, what did I just see? Red soul ring. So dazzling, so powerful. Yi Feng actually still has a 100,000-year spirit ring. This is too dreamy. How on earth did he do it? Yi Feng has never used death and decay these days. On the one hand, it is a bit overkill for those low-level soul beasts. On the other hand, those whose strength far surpassed him were left to Lu Shan'er to solve. And the gap is not too big, it is solved by using other spirit rings to deal with it. Therefore, after seeing the unprecedented red spirit ring, everyone's shock can be imagined. It's just that Huan Cheng didn't have the time to think about it. His huge body stepped back and forth as if it had suffered a major blow. The original strength was swept away, and the eyes were replaced by endless fear. It was the first time for him and Huan Yu to leave the Zhenwu dynasty, and they originally went for meritorious service. Along the way, Huan Cheng helped kill 4 strong human races. Some of them are talented. After that, they found their main target, Lu Shan'er. However, the person did not kill the young master but died. Huan Cheng knew that Lord Master would never let him go. When Huan Yu died, he was greeted only by something more terrifying than death. Escape. There is no escape, there is no place for him in the entire Shira world, not even other dynasties. In the world of soul beasts, the ranks are strictly insurmountable. Huan Cheng is a servant, and he will be a servant all his life, even if Huan Cheng is a soul beast of the great perfection of the Grand Master. Yi Feng glanced at Lu Shan'er. The latter has long been holding back. A forest white flame was suddenly released from its left arm. At this moment, the surrounding air became extremely cold. Boom! Extreme cold and extreme heat intertwined and hit the absent-minded Huan Cheng at the same time. Boom! Huan Cheng's abdomen immediately exploded. Senbai's flames are like maggots on the tarsus, preventing the healing of the wound of the illusion. Left arm bone soul skill. Yi Feng was not surprised that Lu Shan'er had a soul bone. As Suzaku's daughter, it would be surprising if she didn't have 1 or 2 soul bones on her body. What makes Yi Feng curious is this spirit bone skill. It's the cold fire of the ghosts of the ghosts. Zhou Kaier explained something. Yi Feng suddenly realized that the cold fire of the ghost can burn the soul and blood. Once you get caught, even if your resilience is amazing, you will be tortured to death by this intractable flame. Working with Suzaku, an extinguishable flame will definitely make life worse than death. Wow, ow. After Lu Shan'er used his trump card, Huan Cheng's cry was extremely miserable. Although he knew that he would definitely die, Huan Cheng regretted it when death came. Crash. At this moment, the dark world around him shattered like glass. The seriously injured Huan Cheng was no longer able to support his illusion space. The illusion space was shattered, and the scenery of the 100 Burials forest was revealed again. Zhou Kaier and other girls have a kind of joy in the rest of their lives. If Huan Cheng didn't die, then they would be trapped in the space forever and couldn't get out. Senior sister, he left it for me to kill. Seeing that Lu Shan'er was about to end Huan Cheng's life, Yi Feng said quickly. It is good. Lu Shan'er didn't think too much. The current Huan Cheng is exhausted, and the 150,000-year spirit ring skill of the younger brother is enough to kill him. Huan Cheng seemed to know that he was going to die, and suddenly opened his eyes. Immediately, he quickly said, "Human, don't kill me, I am willing to make you a slave." Slave. Yi Feng looked at Lu Shan'er. Lu Shan'er was a little surprised. Do you have a soul imprint of your life? Huan Cheng quickly said, yes, yes. A look of joy flashed in Lu Shan'er's eyes. Junior brother, you are so lucky. Huh, what does that mean? Yi Feng was taken aback for a moment. Senior sister, what is the soul seal of life? Oh, you don't know yet. Some soul beasts have the soul seal of life, and as long as the soul seal of life is collected, they can easily control the life and death of the opponent. Lu Shan'er explained. And once this connection is established, if the soul master dies, then the soul beast will also die. So the soul beasts with the soul seal of life are more sought after and can be used as a great help. But it also depends on the potential of the opponent. It is useless if the potential is not strong. It is impossible to believe in the other party without the restriction of the soul seal of life. If he foolishly regards Huan Cheng as a servant, he is likely to be killed in a blink of an eye. However, if he accepts his soul seal, Huan Chang will only do his best to protect you, because he will die if you die. Yi Feng finally understood. The probability is very low, but it can be considered when encountering a good one. In that case, hand over your life and soul seal to my junior brother. Lu Shaner said. If you dare to cheat, this captain will make your life worse than death. No, 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 no. Huan Chang nodded with joy in his heart. He just wants to live. It is extremely difficult for a soul beast to cultivate to the great master. Instead of going back to die, it is better to be a slave to human beings, and maybe live for a while longer. Under Lu Shaner's supervision, Huan Chang turned his soul power, and immediately a palm-sized light mark appeared in Huan Chang's hand. Junior brother, take out a drop of blood and drop it on it. This guy's life is yours. It is good. Yi Feng didn't hesitate. When the blood dripped on the light seal, bright rays of light bloomed. Okay. Immediately, the already weak body of Huan Chang became weak again. Buzz. Guangyan made a buzzing sound and printed on Yi Feng's eyebrows, and then disappeared. At this moment, Yi Feng suddenly had a feeling. The Wancheng in front of him has really established a connection with himself, and as long as his mind moves, Wancheng will surely die. Very good. Yi Feng couldn't close his mouth with a smile, and he was delighted to accept a soul beast with a great master as his thug. It would be nice to have a few more. Yi Feng couldn't help sighing. What are you thinking? A soul beast with a soul imprint of life is much more precious than a soul bone. Lu Shaner rolled her eyes and Yi Feng smiled and said, besides, some of them are very weak. Do you want them in 10 years? That's right. If the probability is really high, then the human race will have a soul beast thug. After handing over the soul seal of life to Yi Feng, Huan Chang couldn't help feeling a little bitter in his heart. In fact, he wanted to become Lu Shaner's servant, so the potential would be even greater. Owner. After hesitating for a while, Huan Chang bowed his head to Yi Feng to show his respect. Yi Feng looked at the big rabbit in his mind and nodded secretly. It seems that the connection is gone. In addition, Yi Feng also discovered an effect after establishing the soul seal of life, that is, his own soul skills are also useful to Wancheng. Thinking of this, the silver halo on Yi Feng's wrist flickered. Huan Chang is a little dazed. What does the master want to do? The next moment, silver radiance sprinkled on Huan Chang. Immediately afterwards, the figure of the magic Chang flashed in the position 1 minute ago. 1 minute ago, Huan Changshang was still at his peak and was not injured. After rewinding time, Yi Feng was relieved to find that the soul imprint of his life had not disappeared. On the one hand, he did this to help Huan Chang recover. Now that Huan Chang's injury was too severe, the general medicine pill was useless. On the other hand, because Lu Shaner was still here, Yi Feng wanted to try time retrospection to see if he had also put his life and soul imprint back on file. If he really returned to Lu Shaner, he would still be able to contain Huan Chang. But now everything seems perfect. At the moment of going back in time, Huan Chang was stunned. It was immediately discovered that there was no injury on his body. This is. Wancheng was immediately shocked. Is this also the master's soul skill? So strong. Suddenly, Huan Chang's gaze towards Yi Feng was a little different. These 333 people have the first and second martial spirits, and their identities in the human race must be unusual. And such a person has great potential. Following him should be better than following Lu Shaner. Although the latter is backed by a Suzaku, his own strength is more important. Moreover, Huan Chang was keenly aware that this soul skill of Yi Feng was extremely useful. Even your own survivability will be greatly improved. Thank you, master. After reacting, Huan Chang hurriedly saluted Yi Feng. Well, can you shrink? Yi Feng was a little uncomfortable looking at Huan Chang, who was dozens of meters high. Soul beasts can be reduced in size. Lu Shaner smiled and said, but there is a limit, and the limit of the law cannot be ignored. If there is no limit, then infinite enlargement and infinite reduction will be fine. Huan Chang nodded, and immediately the purple light flickered and shrank, and finally became a normal rabbit-sized soul beast. Not bad. Yi Feng was extremely satisfied. This should be the size of Huan Chang when he was born. Being able to shrink is not only for Yi Feng to look comfortable, but also to take the opportunity to sneak attack on each other. Soul beasts with the soul imprint of life are even rarer than soul bones, and ordinary people may not be able to react. Sister, let's go. It is good. The team cab was assembled again. Zhou Keier and others looked at Yifeng with a hint of envy and sincere joy. Don't envy brother, brother is the protagonist. Yifeng thought to himself. Junior brother, we plan to go back. Liu Shaner said. This training went very smoothly, and we will rehearse with the Legion in the next few days. It is good. Yifeng thought for a while and said, Senior sister, I'll wander around for a while. Liu Shaner nodded. There is a magic bearing to protect Yifeng, as long as it is not too turbulent and safe. Then you have to be careful and don't go to the border. Liu Shaner said. There are some more dangerous places marked on the map I gave you before, don't go. Well, don't worry, Yifeng said with a smile. I'll contact you when I get back. Okay. In the reluctance of everyone, Yifeng left here with Huan Cheng. Captain, when can we see Yifeng next time? Yes, hasn't he been accepted as a student by Governor Hong? When will he officially join us? A bunch of little sluts. Liu Shaner rolled her eyes and said, Don't worry, my junior brother is definitely on my side and can't run away. The crowd cheered in unison. After half an hour, Yifeng took Huan Cheng to walk in the jungle, and Huan Cheng, the Grand Master's perfect soul beast, really dared not approach it in ordinary spirit beasts. Boom. Yifeng shook his head after dealing with the group of soul beasts again. Nothing good came out. Master, I know that there is a soul crystal vein somewhere. Phantom said suddenly. The master helps me heal, and I have to repay the master, so that the master can value me more. In fact, after the soul seal of life is established, the soul beast will instinctively develop a sense of loyalty to the person who has its own soul seal. This feeling is irreversible. This is also one of the reasons why the soul beast with the soul imprint of life is so precious. Really, where is it? Yifeng was immediately overjoyed. This servant is reliable. In a mountain area outside the 100 Burial Forest. Huan Cheng said. There are a few 8,000-year-old soul beasts there. Well, it is what you humans call the Diamond Great Perfection. Okay, you lead the way. Yifeng was instantly overjoyed, and Mad made a lot of money. On the second day, Yifeng left the 100 Burials Forest and came to the mountain that Huan Cheng had mentioned. This place was discovered by Huan Cheng and Huan Yu when they left the Zhengwu Dynasty. It is a time-consuming process to absorb the soul power in the soul crystal, so Huan Cheng is too lazy to take it as his own, and now it is just cheaper for Yifeng. Huan Cheng, beat them to death and leave them to me to kill. Yifeng said. Huan Cheng nodded. This has been the case several times this day. Although Yifeng didn't tell Huan Cheng the reason, Huan Cheng roughly guessed something. After a moment, 6 Diamond Great Perfection soul beasts lay dying on the ground. In the face of Wancheng, these powerful soul beasts have no resistance at all. Even as soon as they met, they began to beg for mercy and tremble. Yifeng cast death and decay to solve it all. Ding, successfully killed the white patterned tiger to obtain a spirit stone. A different kind of prompt sounded. Yifeng was overjoyed. By the end of the day, he had already obtained 1 spiritual spirit stone and 3 spiritual spirit stones. As for the martial arts points, they have accumulated more than 60,000. But it paled in comparison to what he had already achieved. Fantastic, you did a great job. Yifeng gave Wancheng encouragement. This is the master I should be. Huan Cheng said quickly. As long as Yifeng is satisfied, it's fine, and there are too many soul beasts to kill. Immediately, Yifeng asked the system to convert all the soul crystal veins into martial soul points. There are a total of 40,000 low-level rank and a total of 400,000 martial arts points. Yifeng was satisfied and continued to look for mineral veins with Huan Cheng. By the way, do you know why there are many masters in the Zhengwu Dynasty recovering? Yifeng asked suddenly while walking on the road. Huan Cheng heard the words and said, it should be the power of the ancestor of the beast. Ancestor beast. Yifeng stopped and looked at Huan Cheng. As a person who is dominated by magic demons, Wancheng should know a lot of things. Yes, master, I heard the phantom demon master say that the beast ancestor is recovering, and his power spills out to revive some masters by the way. This matter is not a secret among the senior officials of the Zhengwu Dynasty, so Huan Cheng also knows about it. Who is the beast ancestor? Master, the beast ancestor is the strongest of our soul beast clan, and the breeder of the 3 beast emperors. You mean that the beast emperors of the 3 dynasties are descendants of beast ancestors? Yi Feng heard this and said curiously, then do you know where the ancestor of the beast is and what his strength is? This, I don't know. This information is too secret, and Huan Cheng's strength is not enough to know. As the servant of the Phantom Master, all Huan Cheng knows is some relatively public information. Yi Feng nodded and did not delve into this issue. In the next few days, Yi Feng and Huan Cheng hunted with the 100 Burial Forest as the center. It was smooth at first, but as the slaughter increased, it gradually attracted the attention of the spirit beasts in the depths of the 100 Burial Forest. According to Huan Cheng, the entire 100 Burial Forest is the sphere of influence of the Longyang Overlord. And that Overlord hardly came out on weekdays, and even if he came out, it was in the War of Beast Hordes. 5 days later. It's almost over here. For safety's sake, Yi Feng didn't dare to stay here. It just happened that I have gained a lot recently, and it is time to go back to practice. Now Yi Feng's strength has reached gold, 9 stars. And Wu Hun points reached 110,000 - 50,000. This is still under the premise that the soul bones are not counted. If you count it, it is very likely to reach 170,000 - 50,000. It's really boring to stay in this school. Yi Feng was satisfied. It seems that I will go out more in the future. Half a day later, Yi Feng returned to the Blood Town City with a shrunken phantom. In addition to being the base of the Suzaku Legion, Blood Town City also has some infrastructure. This includes exchanges. As the name of the exchange implies, the things that the spirit masters get outside can be sold here. Of course, you can also go to the Suzaku Core to exchange merit points for some things that the exchange does not have. Yi Feng, it's Yi Feng. A female waiter in the hall suddenly exclaimed, my God, I actually saw the deity. Can Yi Feng sign me? Yi Feng has a black line, Mada is chasing the stars to the other world. However, Yi Feng still signed a name for the other party, not for anything else but for this vanity. Yi Feng, we all adore you. The waitress smiled and said, I didn't expect you to be more handsome than on TV. Oh, thank you. Yi Feng asked, how do you collect your soul bones? The exchange is not only in the City of Blood, but also in the outside world, and there are even auctions. Yi Feng intends to maximize the value of this soul bone. If possible, it would be better to put it in the auction. That way, you can sell for a better price. Soul bone. The waitress was stunned for a moment, and then quickly said, Yi Feng, you go to the VIP room with me first. I don't have the authority to do things like spirit bones. It is good. After arriving at the VIP room, they poured water and served tea, and the waitress just left after the work was done. After a while, Mr. Yi, I have long admired your name. A middle-aged man in a suit and glasses walked over enthusiastically and said, Pan He is the director of this exchange. Yi Feng glanced at the other party and found that he couldn't see through at all. Master, this person should have the strength of a grandmaster. Phantom inheritance. Yi Feng has the immortal soul imprint of Wancheng, so the 2 parties can transmit voice to each other, which is much more convenient. However, there are restrictions, and they cannot be separated from each other by more than 50 kilometers. Yi Feng nodded with no surprise. Blood Town City has frequent battles, and even people from the exchange must have good cultivation. Yi Feng estimated that the previous waitress was probably a silver-level soul master. Hello, Director Pan. Yi Feng nodded and then took out the left leg bone of the golden thorn grass. Pan He recognized it at a glance and said, Mr. Yi is lucky, this is the leg bone of the 800-year-old golden thorn grass. Director Pan has good eyesight. If you estimate the price is right, I will sell it to you. Yi Feng said. Pan He said with a smile, if it was someone else, we would give 65 million for this left leg bone, but since it is Mr. Yi, then I will give 85 million on behalf of the exchange. I have to say that this is very sincere. Of course, Pan He didn't look at Yi Feng's face entirely, and another reason was that Yi Feng was Hong Zhen's student. They opened an exchange in Blood Town City, and Hong Zhen's face was bound to be given. Can you help me exchange all of them into soul crystals? Yi Feng asked. He is happy with the number. Who knew that Pan He was suddenly embarrassed? Mr. Yi, we don't have enough soul crystals, we only have 70,000 soul crystals in reserve. After a pause, he apologized and said, you also know that Bloodtown City fights all year round, so soul crystals are consumed a lot. But if you're not in a hurry, I can ask the branch outside to transfer it. Pan, he said again. Not in a hurry. Yi Feng said. By the way, Director Pan, if this soul bone is auctioned, can there be a higher price? Pan, he glanced at Yi Feng in surprise, thinking that you don't look like someone lacking soul crystals. It should be possible, in my experience there may be a 5% increase. Pan, he said. 5%, okay. Yi Feng suddenly laughed. He didn't expect to earn an extra 4.25 million just by asking casually. Converted to martial soul points, that is more than 40,000. Although more than 40,000 people can't raise 1 star now, mosquito legs are also meat. After the negotiation, Pan, he immediately took out a rectangular crystal box. This is for keeping the soul bones specially, which can prevent the energy of the soul bones from escaping. Then Pan, he took out a contract and explained, Mr. Yi, this is the contract for this transaction, you can take a look. Although he knew that Pan, he couldn't lie to himself, Yi Feng took a closer look. The content of the contract is also very simple, and the soul bones are handed over to the exchange for safekeeping. After the auction is over, the auction proceeds will be transferred to Yi Feng in the form of soul crystals. As for the 2% handling fee stipulated by the industry, it was waived by Pan He. Yi Feng knew that Pan He wanted to make friends with him, but he didn't care about it. Director Pan, I will trouble you later. Yi Feng resigned after signing the contract. Hong Zhen is in the camp. Yi Feng looked for it and found that Hong Zhen had left the city and led a team to fight a few days ago. Immediately, he planned to return directly to the imperial capital to improve his martial soul fit. After a turnaround, Yi Feng walked out of the imperial capital teleportation formation. Coming to Earth again made Yi Feng feel refreshed. The environment in the Shira world is too depressing, and the Earth is better. Third senior sister. Yi Feng was a little surprised when he saw the fairy in white next to the teleportation formation. Ji Yu Chinru smiled sweetly. Second senior sister has already told me that I am waiting for you here specially. Yi Feng is now the favorite of the 10,000 Beasts religion. Although the 10,000 Beast religion killed a protector last time, who knows if they will continue to plan secretly. So Ji Yu Chinru and the others did not take it lightly. Hey, this is. When Ji Yu Chinru saw the phantom on Yi Feng's shoulder, she was slightly taken aback, and immediately exclaimed, it has the soul mark of life. Lu Shaner only told Ji Yu Chinru that Yi Feng was coming out soon, and the others did not explain. Yi Feng nodded. Yes, magic demons dominate this vein. Ji Yu Chinru has a hint of envy in her eyes. You are so lucky, this is the first time I have seen senior sister soul beast with the soul imprint of her life. As he spoke, he greeted him with a gust of fragrant wind. Om. Immediately, a white aperture rose, and the next moment Ji Yu Chinru took Yi Feng to the sky. Sister, how have you been lately? Yi Feng asked. I miss you, my little brother. Ji Yu Qian said softly. Especially your senior sister, who came back 3 days ago, but didn't see you going to Bloodtown City again. I waited for you for 2 days and left without waiting. Ma'am, Yi Feng smiled. It's hard for her. Except for that senior sister, the other 3 Yi Fengs have all met. Under the escort of Ji Yu Chinru, Yi Feng returned to Taijing University smoothly. It has been nearly half a month since entering the Shira world this time, and Taikyo University is as quiet and peaceful as usual. By the way, junior brother, next Wednesday we will gather to go to Buddha Town. Ji Yu Chinru said. Next Wednesday. Yi Feng looked at the time, it was exactly 5 days later. Well, use these 5 days to break through to the golden consummation. As for the soul ring needed for breakthrough, Yi Feng hunted a lot of soul beasts during this time, but he did not get the soul ring reward. Just to try your luck in the Buddha battlefield. Senior sister, has the list of 100 people come out this time? Yi Feng wanted to know who the others were. Ji Yu Chinru shook her head. It should be just a few days. It is good. Yi Feng knew that Ji Yu Chinru and Lu Xian's 333 would definitely participate. As for the 4th senior sister Lan Duowei, she did not need to participate because she had other tasks. The masters or diamonds who entered the battlefield of the Buddha were carefully selected, and the team of 100 people basically covered most of the powerful masters in the country. For the next few days, Yifeng locked himself in the Hall of Soul Origin. Breaking through to the golden perfection requires raising the martial soul fit to 70%. And Yifeng's current fit is still at the 61% level. In the previous retreat, Yifeng raised the martial soul fit to 60%. Although Yifeng didn't deliberately practice the soul control secret technique in the past half-month, his martial soul fit has also improved due to the continuous battles. From this point, we can see how powerful the Soul Origin Hall is. You must know that even a soul master who is not a twin martial soul can improve the compatibility level, which is a process that accumulates over time. The Soul Origin Hall is different, greatly reducing this process. When Yifeng was in retreat, Hell, Dharma Venerable, Chess King and Suzaku gathered again. Just like last time, Suzaku still came here as a clone. Dharma Venerable's expression was a little strange. You too, Emperor Li Qing may not really be dead. The Chess King and Suzaku looked up at the Dharma Venerable at the same time. During this time, I visited the Shira world all over the place. Fa Zun said quietly, there is something wrong with the time in the 100 Burials Forest. I suspect that there may be another time dimension world. You mean, Li Qingdi is in the time dimension? Suzaku frowned slightly. If that's the case, it makes sense. Some time ago, Lu Shaner and the others discovered a new soul crystal ore vein in the 100 Burial Forest, which has a great relationship with this matter. The Chess King was silent, and after a while he said, have you found out his movements? Disaster. Dharma Venerable said without rushing. The laws of heaven and earth in that place are slightly different from other places, and it is difficult for me to exert my strength. Chess King and Suzaku were slightly moved when these words came out. They are very clear about how the Dharma Venerable's combat power is, and even the Dharma Venerable has been affected. You said, will Emperor Li Qing still be unable to get out of trouble for the time being? Suzaku asked. It's not ruled out the possibility. The King of Chess said, of course it's unlikely. Dharma Venerable also nodded, apparently agreeing with the Chess King's statement. You said, is Emperor Li Qing related to Soul Ancestor? And is there something we don't know about the relationship between Li Qingdi and Yifeng? Venerable Dharma asked two questions one after another. Soul Ancestor was the first in the history of the human race to awaken a martial soul. Although the current strength of the three of them can easily crush the Soul Ancestor of the Year, such a person still makes the three of them attach great importance. The Chess King did not speak, and the chess pieces in his hand spun rapidly. After a while, crack, a black chess piece suddenly opened with a tiny opening. Dharma Venerable and Suzaku were only stunned for a moment, but the Chess Emperor's pupils shrank. What's wrong? Dharma Venerable and Suzaku asked at the same time. The Chess King's pieces have never been broken. Beyond my ability to measure. After the Chess Emperor finished speaking, the expressions of Dharma Venerable and Suzaku changed slightly. The former said solemnly, could it be? Dharma Venerable did not say the second half of the sentence, but the three of them understood. What if Soul Ancestor wasn't really dead? What if he really had some sort of connection with Li Qingdi? With this divination, some problems that the three of them had not thought of before suddenly became enlightened. Emperor Li Qing and Soul Ancestor died very early, and there was a time god Zhang Wuhun. These two connections don't seem to be abnormal, but they make the three pillars numb. What is there on Shenongjia and Kunlun Mountains? Fazan asked. No, the Chess King shook his head. If our guess is true, then I am afraid that there is nothing to see in these two places. Where is the dynasty? Dharma Venerable asked again. Suzaku said, the recovery of the beast ancestors is accelerating, maybe 1 year at most. As soon as these words came out, the hearts of the Dharma Venerable and the Chess King sank a bit. The number of rulers will increase on a monthly basis. Last month, there were more black snakes, and last month, there were more dragons. Suzaku said, in a few days, there should be another lord who will recover. The atmosphere seemed a little silent for a while. I'll take a look later this time. Pharaoh said. The human race finally has the current situation, but it cannot end there. Whether it is the Soul Ancestor or Li Qingdi, it is the help of the human race. It's just that the three of them can't figure it out. If the two really didn't die, what are they planning? Do you think that Emperor Li Qing is the ancestor of the soul? Suzaku asked suddenly. Not too possible, the chess king said. However, I suspect that Emperor Li Qing may be the descendant of the soul ancestor, and Yi Feng may also be. The most urgent task is to improve the strength of the human race as soon as possible. Suzaku said with a headache. Otherwise, there will soon be no place for the human race in the Shira world. The three of us can only contain 3 beast emperors and cannot kill them. And with the increase in the number of dominators, the pressure on the defense line is increasing. The chess king and Dharma Venerable nodded. The latter said, there is nothing to do in the near future, let Lien Junfo and Chu Qin guard the Blood Town together. Blood Town City is extremely important to the human race, it is the first line of defense, and it is also a sharp blade for plundering resources for the human race. And even the true Buddha and Chu Qin are the imperial capitals of the gods and prisons, and their strength is second only to the Dharma Venerable. The former is honored as King Kong Royal Capital, while the latter is Thunder Royal Capital. The status and strength of the two are comparable to Hong Zhen. The cooperation of the three can alleviate the problem of increasing the number of dynasty rulers. As for Yan Wudi, who had to be stationed in the City of Heroes, he couldn't get out. As a result, those spirit beasts outside may be restless. The chess king said, this is also something that can't be helped, and the overall situation is the most important. Fa Zun said. The imperial capital guards the imperial capital. On the one hand, the imperial capital has a very high status, and on the other hand, it also guards against the attacks of the soul beasts on the earth. But with the current situation, it is clear that the Shira world is more important. At any rate, there is still a royal capital here in the imperial capital, and there are also masters from other major forces sitting in the seat. By the way, Yi Feng has reached his golden peak. Suzaku suddenly smiled and said, and there is a 150,000-year spirit ring. The chess king and Dharma Venerable were in a trance for a while. Can Li Qingdi do this? This. Venerable Dharma raised his brows. Why does this news sound so dreamy? Oh, good, good. The chess king smiled and said, whether it's what Li Qingdi did or not, it's a good thing. Yeah, Yi Feng, plus those 5 little guys, the future of the human race is very good. Fa Zun said with emotion. Suzaku's expression moved slightly. You mean, Jiming and the others are going to recover? Almost. The king of chess said. There are fronts and backs, and then there will be 5 more kings in the human race. This is the only good news. Suzaku laughed immediately. Dharma Venerable said quietly. So, our 3 old guys should try to buy as much time as possible for the people. Time flies. 4 days later. 70%. Great consummation. Inside the Soul Origin Hall, Yi Feng got up, opened his eyes and moved his muscles. This training is still very smooth. With the help of the Soul Origin Hall, the compatibility of the martial arts is simply easy to grasp. Except for the Queen of Soul Origin, Yi Feng turned on the phone. Immediately after I received a message from Pan He. Hello, Mr. Yi, the auction has ended. A total of 89,250 low-grade soul crystals have been deposited at the headquarters, and you can pick them up at any time. So fast. Yi Feng was a little surprised. He thought it would take 1 or 2 weeks. Huan Chang, I'm going to the exchange now, let me know if there is any danger along the way. Yi Feng said through voice transmission. Huan Chang leaned on Yi Feng's shoulder and nodded quickly. Master, don't worry, my perception is very strong. The magic demon family is good at creating illusions, and their spiritual power is very strong, and their perception is naturally not to be said. Although Yi Feng knew that there might be someone to protect him secretly, but since Huan Chang was in use, he should also use it. As soon as he left the school gate, Yi Feng saw Yu Qingyan. Thank you, Principal, Yi Feng said sincerely. You're welcome, and from tomorrow we will fight side by side. Yu Qingyan said with a smile. He is the great perfection of the Grand Master, and he is one of the personnel who went to the Buddha battlefield this time. Yi Feng suddenly said. Yes, you are the great perfection of the Grand Master, and you just meet the conditions for this time. Yu Qingyan didn't say anything, its words didn't feel like a compliment to me. Yu Qingyan felt a burning sensation on his face when he thought of this freshman who had just entered school participating in a high-level battle with him. Am I a waste? No, Yu Qingyan felt a little depressed. By the way, Dean, among the people who went there this time, there are several great perfection. Yi Feng asked. 7. Yu Qingyan said. The list has come out, I'll send it to you. Immediately Yi Feng turned on the phone. The 7 great masters are Yu Qingyan, Qin Lai, Shi Shuiyi, Lu Xianer, Ji Yu Qinru, Ji Wenxuan and Gong Shuisong. The first 5 Yi Fengs had all dealt with each other. Among them, Qin Lai was the prisoner of the divine prison, while Shi Shuiyi was the guardian of the chess pavilion, and he was also the disciple of the chess emperor. As for the last 2, Yi Feng is actually no stranger. Ji Wenxuan is Ji Ming's uncle, Ji Chen's 4th younger brother, and Gong Shuisong is Gong Qingyu's cousin. Before Gong Qingyu became famous, the representative of the younger generation of the Gong family was Gong Shuisong. Why only 7? Yi Feng asked curiously. 7 less. Yu Qingyan was ashamed. Do you know how many great masters of the entire human race are in total? How many? 32. Yu Qingyan said. If all are sent out, what will happen to the defense line, and what will happen to the various industries? Right. Yi Feng immediately looked at the remaining 93 people. There are only 100 people in the human race. On the one hand, the number of strong people is there, and on the other hand, the laws in the Buddha battlefield are limited. Among the remaining 93 people, there are 73 masters, and the remaining 20 are diamonds. It is worth mentioning that the strengths of these 20 diamond-level soul masters are all 7-star diamonds and above. The reason there are still 20 diamonds is because some areas are only accessible at the diamond level. In the list of 20 people, Yi Feng saw one acquaintance. The wind is full of bows. The principal of the 2nd affiliated high school of Taikyo University. After not seeing him for many days, Feng Mangong also made a breakthrough and was upgraded to 8 diamond stars, barely without the tail of the crane. Well, the tail of the crane is myself, forget it. The staffing ratio this year is the same as in previous years. After reading it, Yi Feng asked, President, I heard that you also participated last year. Yes, last year, Qin Yu and I both participated as Grand Masters. Yu Qingyan said. After saying that, I suddenly felt something was wrong. Oh, I haven't made a breakthrough for a whole year. Yi Feng suddenly, is it so rare for a Grand Master to complete it? Ahem, after a year of precipitation, Lao Qin and I have become stronger in combat. Yu Qingyan forcibly held his respect. At present, Lao Qin and I should be the 2 strongest in the great perfection. Well, I'm afraid Lao Qin and I will be able to break through after coming out of the Buddha battlefield this time. Yu Qingyan did not forget to take Lao Qin with him when he spoke. Wow, formidable, Yi Feng complimented, but in my heart as the secret director, I didn't laugh at you, what are you explaining? Yu Qingyan blushed and walked with his head sullen without saying anything. Ji family, ha ha ha, I broke through. Ji Ming pushed open the door of the restaurant, and was extremely excited with his hair in a mess like a bird's nest. In the restaurant, the brothers Ji Chen and Ji Wenxuan were both there. In addition, there are Ji Tian, Ji Xiaoxiao and Ji Wenxuan's 9-year-old son Ji Dan and 4-year-old daughter Ji Wuli. Flimsy. Ji Chen frowned slightly and reprimanded. Ji Ming, you are more frivolous than your brother looks. Ji Tian looked wronged, and lay down. Dad, I broke through, I now have 9 gold stars. Ji Ming was so happy. During this time, he practiced behind closed doors in 333 rooms and suffered a lot. Good. Uncle Ji Wenxuan raised his head and smiled. You are now the same as Yi Feng. Ji Ming's expression instantly froze. What? Ji Tian put down his chopsticks and said in shock, Uncle, you said that Yi Feng also has 9 gold stars. That's right, the list is out, and it shows Yi Feng with 9 gold stars. Ji Wenxuan said happily. The 2 Ji brothers stopped talking. Instead, Ji Xiaoxiao clapped her hands. Brother is amazing. Yi Feng's current reputation is well known, even the children like Ji Xiaoxiao know it. In Ji Xiaoxiao's opinion, it must be very powerful that my brother can be in the same realm as such a big man. Ji Ming blushed. Eats your meal well. Wen Zan, you need to take care of Yi Feng when you go to the Buddha battlefield this time. Ji Chen said sternly. Yi Feng is very kind to our Ji family. Brother, do you still need to say this? Ji Wenxuan smiled and said. If it wasn't for Yi Feng, I would have lost a nephew. Don't worry, I will try my best to protect him. Ji Chen nodded. Wenxuan was smart since he was a child, I can rest assured that my little brother does things. Little sister, your elder brother is not very good. The 9-year-old Ji Dan knew more and couldn't help but reminded him. Ji Ming's face turned even redder, and he hummed, Shantuan, have you come out with your results from the last test? As soon as these words came out, everyone looked at them at the same time. Ji Dan was so frightened that his face turned pale and buried his head in the bowl. In the future, the two of you will walk with Yi Feng more often. Ji Chen bitterly said. Don't just know about cultivation day by day, and I haven't seen any flower head in cultivation. Ji Ming and Ji Tian were both depressed. The former couldn't help but said, Dad, I am now one of the 4 great talents of the human race. What about you? Mao wasn't even counted back then. Ji Chen slowly put down his chopsticks, and immediately heard Ji Ming fly out with a whistle. Hee, eat vegetables. Ji Chen laughed. After a while, Ji Ming patted the dust on his body and walked in from the door. But just when Ji Ming was about to sit down, he suddenly collapsed to the ground. Brother. Ji Tian was shocked and hurried over to help. What's wrong with you? It's okay, no problem. Ji Ming rubbed his head and said, Matt is dizzy again. Dad, you are too heavy. Ji Tian dissatisfied. Ji Chen and Ji Wenxuan looked at each other as if they didn't hear it. Both of them had a hint of joy in their eyes. Outside the Imperial Capital Exchange, Yi Feng was in a good mood after accepting the low-grade soul crystal. In addition to the 890,000 this time, the spirit points have exceeded 2 million. Yi Feng looked at the virtual panel. The soul ring is lacking now. As long as the soul ring comes, it will take off immediately. After returning to school, Yi Feng, take a bath tonight and get a good night's sleep. Yu Qingyan said cheerfully, we will gather in the square early tomorrow morning. Good. The next day, Zhenwu Dynasty, Imperial Capital. In an endless square, 1,000 people who went to the Buddha battlefield have assembled. Among them, there are 800 masters and 200 diamonds. At the forefront of these ranks are 3 half-humanoid soul beasts in armor. The one on the far left wearing black armor is the Abyss Lord's son, Mokduo. In the center is Tan Longli, the youngest son of Zhenwu Beast Emperor wearing purple gold armor. The one on the far right wearing gray armor is Qingming, the daughter of the necromancer. The 3 of them are not the great perfection of the Grand Master, but their status is noble and extraordinary, and even those of the great perfection must obey their orders. A row of people also stood opposite the 1,000-strong team. The leader is the Zhenwu Beast Emperor, who is wearing a golden python robe and is 5 meters high. The true martial Beast Emperor was not the deity, but a middle-aged man who could not see the fluff. The left and right sides are the Abyss Master and the Undead Master respectively. Then came the elites of the dynasty. Today I set out on the expedition to Buddha Town, and raise the might of my soul beast. Zhenwu Beast Emperor's voice was majestic, with an irresistible sense of surrender. Follow my emperor's orders. Tanronli and the others knelt down on one knee at the same time, looking frantic. Tan Longli, the Zhenwu Beast Emperor, looked at his young son. Although he was young, he was talented, and he performed well among his descendants. If he grows smoothly, he may not have the chance to replace the prince. The Soul Beast clan relies on fists. As long as you have the strength, even if you kill your father and replace it, no one will say anything. Father. Tall and like a human-shaped tank, Tan Rongli stepped forward and looked at his father with fanatical respect. Don't humiliate the majesty of the dynasty. This time entering the battlefield of the Buddha is to win the treasure in the Buddha, and the second is to kill as many clans as possible. Zhenwu Beast Emperor said indifferently. This time, they will be wiped out. Roar. Tan Longli roared excitedly. Father Emperor, Tan Longli takes the lead. Wait, let's go. The moment the voice fell, the Abyss Master and the Undead Master stepped forward at the same time. Immediately, terrifying soul power enveloped thousands of people. Kill all the humans. Raise the might of my dynasty. Who. 1,000 people roared at the same time, and the fighting spirit was extremely high. Om. A streamer brought 1,000 people to the sky at the same time. Immediately, it turned into a meteor and flew towards the town of Buddha at the border. The 13th Prince, this is the human race's expedition list this year. Man Kun, who was beside Tan Longli, handed over an animal skin. No need to look, no matter who it is, the human race will be wiped out this year. Tan Longli looked cold and arrogant with the breath of a superior. He has absolute leadership and right to speak in this team, and all tactics will be assigned by him. The 13th Prince, this year, the human race has produced a few amazing things. Mo Kefeng, who was on the side, had a pale face and a single horn between his eyebrows, which looked quite intimidating. The most notable is Lu Shaner. This person is Suzaku's daughter. After Mo Kaduo finished speaking, Tan Longli suddenly became interested. Immediately, his mouth cracked open to reveal his sharp teeth. Suzaku's daughter. Oh, this person must die. There is one more that you must be interested in. Mo Kaduo said with a smile. This person is Yi Feng, with a 9-star golden power. Tan Longli was stunned when he said this. The human race seems to be at the end of the road, quack. The mere gold dares to participate. I'm really not afraid of death. Jia, it seems that the backbone of the human race is getting less and less. The other soul beasts were all mocking and mocking. Tanronli asked. Morkoduo, don't give a shit. Quote, since Mokduo took it out and mentioned it separately, then this human being must have something special. If there is nothing special about the human race, it is absolutely impossible for this person to participate. This person has 2 martial spirits, the time clock and the void sword. After Mo Kaduo finished speaking, Tan Longli's eyes skyrocketed. Qing Ming, who looked absolutely beautiful and had this crack in his heart, giggled and said, 13th Prince, this person is my target, please don't rob me. No wonder you can participate in the Battle of the Buddha. The corners of Tan Longli's mouth rose slightly. A daughter of Suzaku, a superhero of the human race. Everyone, it's time for us to make meritorious deeds. Hey, 13th Prince, you can just watch the Buddha battlefield this time, we are enough to kill all those people. A young man with scales on his face smiled. Tan Longli's expression turned cold, and then he said loudly, take the bar, never underestimate the human race. Otherwise, okay Zhao, you will pay a heavy price. Tilin nodded again and again, but he didn't take it seriously. I thought that the prince was too cautious. In previous years, when the human race was not beaten by us, they often did not dare to face it head-on. But he dared not say it. Otherwise, it is very likely that they will be executed on the spot. Taikyo University, Plaza. Yi Feng. Yi Feng saw Feng Mangong walking towards the square as soon as he arrived at the square. Principal Feng, long time no see. Yi Feng stepped forward and said with a smile, congratulations on the breakthrough. Feng Mangong's expression was stagnant. You kid, don't bury me. Headmaster, I really congratulate. Yi Feng said helplessly. He was really happy for Feng Mangong. Don't call me Principal Feng in the future. Feng Mangong said with a smile. You have to call me Teacher Feng. What? Yi Feng's eyes lit up. The principal's application has passed, congratulations. Haha, a trivial matter. Feng Mangong immediately sighed. It's been less than 4 months since the beginning of June and I can't believe that you're catching up with me. It's really embarrassing. Principal, I can crush you now. Yi Feng thought. In the square, everyone has already arrived. Grandmasters such as Lu Shaner, Ji Yu Chinru, Yu Qingyan, etc. are all dressed in battle armor. This is the soul energy armor newly developed by the Ministry of Science and Technology, which can play a certain defensive role. Yi Feng got it too, but was too lazy to wear it. As long as the strength does not surpass himself too much, Yi Feng does not need defense, and having time to rewind and teleport is enough to deal with most situations. And if the other party is far more than himself, then the soul energy armor is not very useful. Senior brother. The 5th. Ji Yu Chinru and Lu Shaner looked over and laughed at the same time. I have to say that it is good to have 2 beautiful girls as senior sisters, at least it is a feast for the eyes. Yi Feng couldn't help but think of the appearance of Lu Shaner in the 100 Burials forest that day. It's superb. Different from before, this time Lu Shaner was wearing a purple-red armor, and the armor was full of fire and looked powerful. Yi Feng, Yu Qingyan and the others also looked at themselves. Shi Shuiyi, who was dressed in a white gown with an elegant and cold temperament, had a hint of surprise in his eyes. When she was sent out by her teacher to send her spirit bones, she would never have imagined that Yi Feng would grow to such a degree in just a few months. The newly awakened little soul master had unknowingly already possessed the strength to fight side by side with her. In recent months, Yi Feng's reputation has become more and more famous. Perhaps he should be able to improve a lot after the Battle of the Buddha. Dr. Shi Shui thought to himself. Gong Shuisong and Ji Wenxuan, who were standing in the first row, also looked at Yi Feng with good smiles. The former did not listen to Gong Qingyu mentioning Yi Feng less, and the latter naturally didn't need to be said. Looks like everyone's here. The voice of kingship appeared in the distance. Immediately, he came to the front of the crowd. President Yu and the prison envoy Qin, both of you participated in the Battle of the Buddha last year, let's talk about it with everyone. Very strong. The unsmiling Qin Lai said solemnly. The 60 grandmasters cooperated perfectly and tacitly, and they also mastered the art of combined strikes. As for the 3 peerless evildoers of Tan Longli, they were a little immature last year, and this year should be even more terrifying. What Qin Lai said was very pertinent, and he paid enough attention to the Zhengwu dynasty. Yu Qingyan added. Several grand masters from last year should also participate this year. Feng Ming, Man Kun, Grasa, Taishan and Xingmengli must attract enough attention. When non-grand masters meet them in Dzogchen, they must hide away. Many people who participated in the Battle of the Buddha for the first time, including Yi Feng, took it to heart. That's right, although the soul beasts are not as powerful as our human race in general, those who can enter the battlefield of the Buddha are the best players out of 10,000. Wang Quan said. In other places, any of you can single out 2 or even 3 soul beasts of the same level. But those guys' fighting power is not weaker than yours. But the human race is not afraid. The human race dares to fight, and the human race can fight. Wang Quan said sternly. Everything the human race has achieved so far has been made by countless ancestors and heroes with their flesh and blood. Now there are 100 of you, but when the Battle of the Buddha is over, maybe you will only have 60 or 70 people left, or even less. Some of you are destined to stay on the battlefield of the Buddha forever. Are you afraid? Not afraid, the crowd said in unison. Since you're not afraid, let's fight this year. Wang Quan's eyes had a trace of grimness. Fight him in darkness, kill him without leaving a piece of armor. We're going to win this year. Definitely. Victory. The crowd shouted in unison. Yi Feng knew that the battlefield of the Buddha was not only personal, but more collective. It is a duel between humans and soul beasts. And the winning side will get unimaginable benefits. Set off. Wang Quan waved his hand and led the crowd towards the teleportation formation. At this moment, there are soul masters all over the place looking forward to it and feeling anxious. Although low-level soul masters or those with insufficient identities do not know anything about the battlefield of Buddha, there are still many people who know about it. Even Cab was involved in it. Grandmaster Lin Zan was lying on the reclining chair watching the news. Triumph. After watching it for a while, Lin Zan thought to himself. He took part in the Battle of the Buddha 13 years ago, lost a leg and an arm and retired. All these years, he has been recuperating in the Legion Sanatorium. Lao Lin, after all, today should be the day to enter the battlefield of the Buddha. An old man with thinning hair beside Lin Zan asked. That's right, Lin Zan said. It's better to be young, you can do everything, it's like we can't do anything right now. Quote. I suddenly miss those guys. Zhou Pingtian sighed. It's been 13 years, should those old guys be okay on the battlefield of the Buddha? Hey, it's all right. Lin Zan smiled and said, we will be able to reunite with our brothers in a few years. Tianyan Martial Arts Hall. Wang Tianyan looked into the distance. As a player who participated in the battle 3 years ago, Wang Tianyan knew the ruthlessness and cruelty of the Buddha battlefield. It is good to be able to come back alive, but the despair experienced during this period is forever imprinted in my heart. If you kill those guys, the human race will win. Wang Tianyan suddenly let out a low voice, and many students in the martial arts hall not far away were dazed. Exchange office. Yao Shui, 27, stared at the big screen in a daze. One is a strong woman, but she looks a little pitiful because she lost her left arm. As a participant last year, Yao Shui has been working hard to continue to enter the battlefield of the Buddha. However, she lost the election and did not enter the list of 100 people. Mr. Yao, the guests have arrived. The female secretary knocked on the door and said. Understood. Yao Shui took a deep breath and murmured. This year's winner must be our human race. Qinzhou, Chenjo, Huzhou, etc., everyone is silently blessing or paying attention. Blood Town. Om. The space above was torn open. Immediately, Yi Feng and other 100 people came into sight. Wang Quan and Hong Zhen stood side by side. The latter said, "The Zhenwu dynasty has already set off." "Well, let's go too," Wang Quan said. "There are many advantages to going to Buddha Town in advance. First, you can get in touch with the other party in advance and increase your understanding. Teamwork is required in the battlefield of the Buddha, so it is very important to know ourselves and our enemies. Second, it is also to do some preparations and exploration activities in advance to get a general understanding of the distribution and related information in the battlefield this year. In addition, Wang Quan and Hong Zhen will also have some contact with each other's two masters." "Old Hong, please say a few words," Wang Quan said. Hong Zhen looked at everyone with a smile and said, "I, Lao Hong, don't have that eloquence, so I won't talk about it, but this year, I've been giving Laozi a boost. Live as much as possible. Also, there is a chance to kill Tan Rongli and the others. Okay, let's go everyone." Taikyo University. Ji Ming, Gong Qingyu and Li Fengxian got together. The three were a little bored. "What are you all doing here?" Gong Qingyu said helplessly. "Maid, I feel like I'm progressing too, slowly." Li Fengxian scratched his head. "We are also the top 5 geniuses of the human race, why is there such a big gap between us and Yi Feng?" Zhang Zheji ordered. "Only 4, without you." "Screw you," Li Fengxian said angrily. "Laozi has 8 gold stars anyway. I've got 9 gold stars." Ji Ming whispered. "Cut." Li Fengxian sneered. "If you weren't older than me, I would crush you now." "Okay, stop arguing, your head is big." Gong Qingyu said, "Have you been dizzy recently? When it comes to these two people nodding their heads at the same time. I just fainted once last night." Li Fengxian said, "Have you found out what's going on? My dad mentioned it, and said it was a good thing." Ji Ming said, "This old man knows what to do when he sees my jokes." Li Fengxian sighed. "Forget it, let's not talk about this. Hey, it's still not enough, otherwise we can join Yi Feng on the battlefield of the Buddha. Then let's talk shit, let's practice." Ji Ming patted his butt and left. As long as he thinks that he and Yi Feng are in the same realm, Ji Ming has unlimited power. Don't look at the two people's realm as the same, but the combat power is very different. However, they were much stronger than Yi Feng some time ago. Buddha Town. The reason why it is called Buddha Town is that on the one hand, the area here is not large. On the other hand, the building is really rough. This is a place jointly managed by humans and soul beasts, and fighting is not allowed in the city except under special circumstances. It is unknown why this rule can be carried out stably, but if it is violated, no matter what strength you are, you will die afterwards. The human race has always followed very well, but soul beasts are not people who follow the rules. No one dared to disobey until a master killed a human race genius accidentally the next day because of ignoring the rules. Buddha Town is divided into East and West. The East belongs to the human race, and the West belongs to the soul beasts. The two sides will also merge in the central area, or conduct challenges, or conduct some transactions and exchanges of intelligence. At this moment, light flashed in the sky outside the town of Buddha. Immediately, under the leadership of the Abyss Master and the Undead Master, 1,000 people from the Zhenwu Dynasty came into view. The entrance to Buddha Town was already crowded with soul beasts and human races. Some of the human race here are spies under the command of the 3 pillars, and some are businessmen who come here to do business. And soul beasts are much more complicated, there are all kinds of them. Although curious, no one walked out of the Buddha Town foolishly. Unprovoked killings are prohibited in the town of Buddha, but it is different outside. If the human race goes out, they will definitely be beheaded by soul beasts. And if the soul beast goes out and makes someone unhappy among the 1,000 people, it will also die. There is also a rule in Buddha Town, which cannot be floated and teleported. So the Abyss Masters they can only land on the periphery, and then walk in. In the huge team of 1,000 people, Tan Longli walked side by side with the 2 masters, followed by Mo Kaduo and Qing Ming. After that, the great masters were consummated. The abyss dominated into a black human figure about 3 meters high. A pair of white eyes glanced around and said, it seems that the human race has not arrived yet. Come on, let's go first. The necromancer has also transformed into a human form, a young girl who is about the same height as a normal woman but has a crack between her eyebrows. The face value is quite satisfactory, mainly because the pervading deadness makes people prohibitive. When the group stepped into the Buddha town, Tan Longli suddenly looked at the surrounding human race. Humans, tell your powerhouses that tonight, my 13th prince, Tan Longli, will hold a banquet at the Wansho building in the central area. After saying this, Tan Longli turned and left. After the explanations of Mo Kaduo, Man Kun and others, he became more and more interested in Lu Shaner and Yi Feng. I want to test the level of these two people in advance. As a prince, Tan Longli's eyesight and heart are also excellent. The savage, impatience and other negative emotions of the soul beast have almost never been shown in him. The people on both sides of the street didn't say anything, and many of the spies remembered the appearance of these people one by one. And the soul beasts cheered loudly, screaming again and again. After half an hour, outside the Buddha town, the light flickered again. Under the leadership of Wang Quan and Hong Zhen, Yi Feng and his party also arrived. Boom! The terrifying power was suddenly released, and the spirit beasts watching in the Buddha town were all a little scared. This was deliberately done by Wang Quan and Hong Zhen, and the purpose was to improve the morale of the human race. This is Buddha town. Looking at the rough buildings in the distance, Yi Feng looked over attentively. Yes, it's a rather legendary place. Qin Lai smiled and said, it's very fun inside. Lu Shaner said, Junior brother, I'll take you around later. It's better for me to go, senior sister, you are too attractive. Ji Yu Qian said softly. The identity of Suzaku's daughter is destined to be the focus of Lu Shaner wherever she goes. It's nothing in the human world, after all, very few people know about it. But the soul beasts in Buddha town will know a little bit. Come on, let's go in. Wang Quan sensed it and said, it seems that the abyss and the undead have just arrived not long ago. Pharaoh, after the battle of the Buddha is over, we have a big vote. Wearing bright red armor, Hong Zhen said loudly, kill a ruler for fun. It is good. Wang Quan laughed. Although it is unlikely, it is good to have a mouth addiction. After entering the Buddha town, Yi Feng looked at the surrounding viewers. Half human, half soul beast. On the soul beast side, some races Yi Feng have never even seen before, all kinds of strange shapes are lined up. The quality of these human races doesn't seem to be good. A beastmaster raised his eyebrows and sneered, could it be that he was afraid of being beaten by the dynasty, so he didn't dare to send a master? Ha, look, that person looks so weak. I know, this person's name is Yi Feng, and he is a gold 9-star. Among the soul beasts, there are also those who are in charge of intelligence work, and they know the situation of Yi Feng and the others like the back of their hands. What, gold 9 stars, PFF'd, ha 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 ha, are they no one, they actually sent a gold rank to die. Ha ha ha, laughing at me, this is not enough for our prince to kill alone. A lot of soul beasts laughed unabashedly, and those onlookers made a lot of targeted ridicule. In terms of lip service, the Terran has never lost. After arguing for a while, everyone blushed and said bluntly that they went out to fight. Soon, Yi Feng and his party came to the largest building in the East District. This is a tall tower with a diameter of 500 meters on the first floor alone. Principal Wang, Commander Hong. In the hall, a man in a long gown stepped forward and said with a smile, everyone has worked hard. Yun Xuanji, have the rooms been arranged? Hong Zhen stepped forward and asked. This is the mysterious cloud tower of the chess pavilion. Xuanji's status in the chess pavilion is second only to the military staff, and its strength is at the level of a grand master. Everything is in order. Yun Zonglu's temperament and elegant voice is like a spring breeze. Do you want to tell us the information on the Zhengwu dynasty first, or? No hurry, there is time, let everyone familiarize yourself with the environment first. Wang Quan laughed. Some key information they have roughly talked about on the way. Others, find it better on your own as you get acquainted with the environment. Alright, since that's the case, then I'll be busy first. Yun Zonglo smiled and retired. As a member of Chess Pavilion, Yun Zonglo was not only in charge of collecting and summarizing information in the town of Buddha, but also formulating tactics for the guerrilla corps distributed in various places. After Yun Zonglo left, Wang Quan and Hong Zhen also disappeared. The two also have their own goals of 347, and naturally it is the battlefield of the Buddha. Everyone in the city, remember not to fight with soul beasts. Dr. Shi Shui instructed. There are many people in the chess pavilion in the town of Buddha, so Shi Shui has also come to half of the main stadium. Yi Feng, I'll take you to a good place. After the crowd dispersed, Shi Yu suddenly said mysteriously. Shi Yu, the Diamond Great Perfection, is one of the 20 Diamond rank soul masters. It is worth mentioning that Shi Yu's father Shi Beishan is also in this team. Master Shi Beishan has 9 stars, and his father and son are on the battlefield. There are not many such things. This shows that Shi Yu's talent is also excellent. And along the way, Yi Feng and Shi Yu chatted a lot. The two have similar smells and hate to meet each other late. Looking at your expression, the place should be very good. Yi Feng keenly caught something. Hey, you'll know when you go. Shi Yu maintains a sense of mystery. Humph, Shi Beishan immediately understood when he saw his son's wretched face. But he didn't stop it either, because he would go too later. Some people are dazed, not knowing why the two are so mysterious. But there are many people who understand it well. Hey, young people are full of energy. Wang Chengan, who walked side by side with Feng Mangong, said with a smile. After leaving the attic, Yi Feng and Shi Yu walked on the street full of primitive atmosphere. Although the eastern district is under the jurisdiction of the human race, there are still many soul beasts. For Yi Feng and the others who are about to participate in the Buddha battlefield, some soul beasts are full of curiosity and stop to watch from time to time. But most of them are disdainful and arrogant. Old Shi, where are we going? Yi Feng asked. It will come soon. Shi Yu rubbed his hands in a meaningful way. 20 minutes later, the two stopped outside a large attic. This is the only decent house in the West End. 100 Flowers Building. Yi Feng raised his brows. Good guy, it turned out to be a big health care. Although Yi Feng didn't know what was inside, Ying Ying Yan Yan at the door had already told Yi Feng. Brother Yi, this 100 Flowers Building has collected a lot of women from the best soul beast tribe. Tisk tisk, it's a pity that you didn't experience it for the first time here. Shi Yu is familiar with the door and the road. Although it was the first time to participate in the Battle of the Buddha, but the town of Buddha has been visited several times. Shi Beishan is a businessman, often escorted by the Suzaku Corps to travel between Buddha Town and heroic Soul City. Yeah, here's a guest. After Yi Feng and the two walked to the door, an old bustard greeted them enthusiastically. Yi Feng looked up and down. Although it was a soul beast, it was extremely beautiful after transforming, but he didn't know what the body was. According to Shi Yu's meaning, the female spirit beasts in Baihuolu were not allowed to transform into their bodies, which would be too disappointing. It's all about as human-like as possible. Therefore, there are many people who patronize here. After all, if you can experience the pleasure of Shu Xian, why not do it? Long time no see, Uncle Shi, the slave family wants to kill you. A waiter with a beautiful appearance and this snow-white cat came over, and the twisting of his waist made people imagine infinitely. Shi Yu took out 500 soul crystals and said, "Old position, pick the best one." Okay. The waiter's eyes brightened and his attitude became more enthusiastic. The hall was crowded with people. In addition to the human race, there were also soul beasts. However, these are not pockets, or play at will. The hall is relatively simple, and the boxes are much more luxurious. Yi Feng looked around. It was almost according to the standard of KTV from the outside world. There are even very good soundproofing sponges. Obviously these things were bought from the Terran. After the waiter poured the tea, he quickly walked in with 2 curvaceous beast girls. The one on the left has a slender thigh with this fluffy white tail. The one on the right is exactly the same as a human, except that the eyes are light blue, which looks very exotic. Ruer Luyan has met 2 adults. The two saluted at the same time, and their bodies were immediately unobstructed. Brother Yi, Ruer is from the Snow Fox clan, and Luyan is from the Green Spirit Snake clan. Shi Yu suddenly smiled. These two are new, hee, today is the first day of work. You pick one. Yi Feng raised his brows. This Shi Yu understood very well. Adults make choices, Yi Feng said lightly. Shi Yu gave Yi Feng a deep look. Brother Yi is amazing. After a pause, Shi Yu clapped his hands. The previous cat-eared waiter came in again. Master Shi. Pick me 2 more, they'll be equally good. Shi Yu said, handing out 500 low-grade soul crystals at the same time. The rich second generation is different, they are very generous. The cat waiter smiled and said, Master, please wait a moment. After a while, 2 more beast girls came. The 4 beast girls served Yifeng and Shi Yu respectively. They were all nervous and jerky, but they were very attentive. How did you get here? Yifeng asked. My lord, we were all caught as slaves. Green Research said softly. Brother Yi, their race should have been defeated. Shi Yu said while accepting the service comfortably. Yifeng nodded. The 3 dynasties were not peaceful. The Zhenwu dynasty, the Tianyan dynasty, and the Zhenhai dynasty had battles with each other. Especially the latter 2, the fight was more intense than the Terran and Zhenwu dynasty. Brother Yi, I'll go to the room first, hee, you can do it yourself. Shi Yu couldn't bear it any longer, and went into the room in the box with 2 people on the left and 1 on the right. Sir, let's serve you. Ruer's little hand was pinching on Yifeng's body, she said timidly. With the movements in Ruer's hands, the flawless skin like white jade exudes a shimmer, which is really beautiful. Are you from the Tianyan dynasty and the Zhenhai dynasty? Yifeng vaguely heard the faint sound from the next room and was unmoved. Yes sir, Ruer said. I am from Shuihu town in the Tianyan dynasty. Sir, I am from Tongshan town in Zhenhai dynasty. Luyan said. Yifeng nodded and stopped asking. The status of these 2 people should be very little. That's right, the reason why Yifeng followed up was mainly to understand intelligence information, and the other things were not important. Sir, it's getting late, or... Yifeng understood and immediately began to explain the profound things in a friendly and harmonious way. There is no description here, 100,000 words are omitted. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.